Yo, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to a late night special, man. We got some NFL news to get into, man, here on a late night special, the NFL on ABSN. I'm your host, Unpopular Opinion Sports, with my co-host, Big Pat Sports Talk. And tonight, we talking playoffs. We talking coaches, and we just talking football, man. So pull up, roll up, do what you do, and tap in, man. But before I do that, man, Pat, speak to the people, man. How you feeling tonight, bro?
Feeling pretty good, man. Talk about the coaches. The NFL playoffs are getting ready to start. Black Monday and Black Tuesday, Black Friday, whatever they wanted to call it, man. It was a lot. Some coaches that were fired. Some that my co-host predicted early in the season. Yeah, I mean, we're gonna talk about it and we're gonna have a little fun. Talk about the NFL right here on ABSN.
For sure. That being said, man, let's hit the intro, man. Let's get right, man, and we're gonna come right back at it, man.
Let's get it.
Righty K, the Raisin Man.
All right, man. Let's get into this thing, bro. And you know where we're going to start, man. You know where we're going to start, man. The biggest news going around in the NFL right now is the Baltimore Ravens letting go John Harbaugh. 18 years over there in Baltimore, man. Won a Super Bowl. They've had some pretty good teams. Had some disappointments as well. Quite a few here recently. But nevertheless, man, this dude is solid, bona fide, on that trajectory to being one of the best coaches, out there, especially if he can get another Super Bowl. But questions are surrounding why did he leave Baltimore? And that's where I want to start first, because everybody's so enamored with John Harbaugh. And I had these questions going into the season, Pat, and everybody thought I was bugging. And I'm like, where do you point to exactly for the blame of the disappointments with the Baltimore Ravens? And I said on air, I think you got to look at John Harbaugh. Now, this was before they even played a game, I think. And I said that because I didn't know where else to point to. Unless you're going to blame Lamar Jackson, which we know a lot of that's not his fault. Unless you're just going to point to a particular player, but you can swap players in and out. It doesn't matter. They still are failing on an overall level. So then some questions start rumbling in the season about them not running the ball like they should have, man. If you had Derrick Henry on fantasy, you was definitely frustrated.
Please don't remind me.
So they wasn't running the ball like they should have. And it didn't really look like the Baltimore Ravens that we're used to. And then you have this, let go here, like you said, Black Monday or Tuesday, whatever it was. And now everybody's lining up at John Harbaugh's door to try to bring him in to try to fix their team. Now, I said a lot there, but I want you in the chat to focus on, was Baltimore situation of them failing, can you really put that on John Harbaugh? Or is this just a situation of it was time? The time kind of ran its course, and it was time to do something different for both parties. So you can go either way with that. I said what I said at the beginning of the season. I just had a gut feeling that this shit wasn't going to work out. But I'm going to turn it over to you, Pat, man. Appreciate you, bro. Talk to him. What's good, Iman?
What's going on, Iman? He's saying it's Lamar Jackson. I really look, man. This situation here, you really can't just put it all on one person. I just think it was a team thing, man. I just think they clammed up when it came to winning football and major games. You know what I'm saying? Like the last game to get into the playoffs. You got Isaiah Likely made a heroic catch to put you in field goal range. And then the kicker goes out there and misses the kick to send you into the playoffs.
Crazy work.
I mean, this season, Lamar Jackson got hurt in the beginning of the season. They started off with 1-5, and then they ran off a couple in a row, like 5 in a row or 6 in a row, and then they lost 3 or 4, and I think they lost 4 of the last 5 or something like that, man. It's this team, man. When you look at this Ravens team, it's like, man, what can go wrong will go wrong in big games. Somebody fumbles. When they could have beat the Chiefs to go, to the AFC Championship game. Flowers catches the ball, tries to dive in the end zone. He gets knocked out his hands. Derrick Henry costly fumbles throughout the season. Lamar Jackson costly turnovers in a lot of playoff games. Drop passes at inopportune times. Mark Andrews fumbles. And then he misses the 2-point conversion when they bring it back. Like, this team here, man, it's look at that. They were like 1-5,
right. 4 out of the last 5 out of the last 7. No, 1, 2, 3, 4 out of the last 6. Yeah, that's what it was.
It's crazy.
1 5 in a row, then lost 4 out of 6. Yeah, inconsistent.
Yeah, inconsistency. So what was the issue with the inconsistency? Why were the crucial turnovers happen when it came to crucial times in football games? Can you blame all that on John Harbaugh? Can you blame it all on Lamar Jackson? It's just a situation where everybody has part to blame. And the Ravens, I mean, he was there for a long time. How long was John Harbaugh there for?
18 seasons.
18 years, almost 20 years. And I guess they figured, Ravens ownership figured he's run his course. We can't get over the hump. He did get them a Super Bowl with Joe Flacco, but never could get one with Lamar Jackson. And NYG predicted this year, I was kind of on John Harbaugh's side, and you can't blame me because the dude has gotten results. Hell, he built the whole system for Lamar Jackson to come in there and shine. And it's just unfortunate that they had those unfortunate turnovers in certain situations. Lamar Jackson threw an interception in that game against the Steelers. It didn't cost them the game, and then he made the plays to get them within, striking distance of the Steelers and actually got it to where they should have won. What about that defense? That defense kept letting the old Steelers without DK Metcalf keep scoring. So I don't know, man. That situation over there with John Harbaugh on the Steelers, it's a crazy situation, man, and you can't blame them either way. If they would have try to trade Lamar Jackson, you really couldn't blame them. But you're not going to get rid of your $300 million quarterback almost. So it's the head coach, and he's going to take the blame for it. And I still think he's a good coach. It's just that when you come to situations of winning, why has this team continued to falter during those times? Why is it so many nerves on that team when it comes to winning time? They got to get rid of that culture in that building.
Mm-hmm. Shout out to the chat. Q Burrow Brother says, I think they wanted a new face and a new direction. That's kind of where I'm leaning, despite the fact that I do think John Harbaugh should share some of that blame, not all of it. And the reason I say that is because, hey, look, you by most NFL standards, and us over here too, because I do consider us, NFL evaluators or talent evaluators, the Ravens roster is one of the best in the NFL, if not the best.
Yeah,
and
definitely
you could not get them to a Super Bowl. With Lamar Jackson, an MVP candidate now, or two-time MVP winner. And Iman, I get it. He says Lamar's been hurt, his body's breaking down, but he's still there. You know what I'm saying? And through all these years, you should have had something. Even if his body's breaking down now, you should have capitalized on that when he was in his so-called prime or peak. I don't know, man. But here's the thing. Outside of Baltimore, who now has a coaching vacancy, which one of these jobs is the most enticing for John Harbaugh? Because again, despite what happened in Baltimore, I think any of these available spots right now will be a humongous upgrade if they got John Harbaugh. Look at the record. 11-5, 9-7, 12-4, 12-4, 10-6, 8-8, 10-6, 5-11. That's the outlier. 1 year. 8-8, 9-7, 10-6, 14-2, 11-5, 8-9, 10-7, 13-4, 12-5, 8-9. So at minimum, he winning you 8 games. Minimum. Outside of 2015, I don't know what happened that year. My memory is a little lost on that one. But at minimum, he's basically fucking Mike Tomlin. He had one blip. Mike Tomlin's basically flawless. But 8-game minimum. The guy's getting you there. And this is with Joe Flacco and multiple different quarterbacks before they even got Lamar Jackson. Been there 18 years. So my question is, who should John Harbaugh be looking at? Because he got the pick of the litter right now. We're going to talk about some of the other coaches that's out there. You got Stefanski. You got McCarthy. You got some coordinators, some college guys. We're going to talk about all that. But this is the big nugget right here. So I want to focus on this. Whose spot is the best spot for him to go to right now? Because he ain't going back to Baltimore. Now, I'm going to give y'all something, but I want y'all to dwell on that for a little bit. Honestly, think about it. What spot, and I'm going to name the teams that are available. So you got the Raiders, and I'm gonna pull up an article here from NFL Network so I can show you what the media is telling you, and y'all can compare it to what we think. So you got the Raiders, Titans, Cardinals, pretty much Ravens, Giants, Browns, Falcons. So those are your 7 spots. Honestly, who has the best available spot?
Shout out to Derpy 501. Thank you for tuning in.
Yeah.
Hit that like and subscribe button for us, brother. Thank you for tuning in. LRP, what's going on? But
LRP, what's good, man? Shakes, I got you, bro. But hey, whose spot is the best spot right now? I gave you the Raiders, Browns, Giants, Titans, Cardinals, Falcons. And to be honest with you, Harbaugh got the pick that he want. I think any one of them teams will hire him. It's not like a situation where Bill Belichick or somebody was in last year where he ain't really had, despite his resume, he ain't really have a lot of options. This guy has all the options he wants. But who y'all saying? I know it's a lot of Giants fans in there, but think about it for a minute. What's the best spot for John Harbaugh? And then we'll talk about who should be going after John Harbaugh. But go ahead, Pat. I'm going to email this link to Shakes real quick.
Yeah. What's up, Ghost? Q Burrow.
Ghost Dog, what's good?
I think the best spots between him, I got a 1A, 1B, and that's the Giants and the Falcons. And we can start off with the Falcons. Let's just say he can salvage what happened to Michael Penix, because he's shown that he can win with a pocket quarterback that got decent legs. And when Joe Flacco was young, he was a pocket quarterback, but Joe Flacco could get out that pocket and run for a first down if he needed to. And that's the same thing with Michael Penix. You got Drake London. You got one of the best running backs in the league in Bijan Robinson. You got Kyle Pitts, a good offensive line, up-and-coming defense. Like, I think he can really work with that team, and he puts his stamp on that team. And he's going to bring a winning culture to that Atlanta Falcons team. It's not going to be none of that stupid Kirk Cousins stuff or what's going on. I think he would go with Michael Penix and make some things work with Michael Penix, and I think they are in the NFC South. And heck, they were 8-9, right there with the Panthers and the Buccaneers in that division. I think that's one of the easier divisions to try to take over, And I just think the Falcons fit his style of coaching. Like, he can come in there and get those boys ready to win. And I think they can run off in the NFC South. Because neither one of those teams are showing that they really want the NFC South like that. Hell, they all about the same. The Saints are only one step behind all of them. So it's I think that's a very, very good spot for him, to be honest with you. The Atlanta Falcons. That might be 1A, and 1B would be the New York Giants. You got Jackson Dart, you got Malik Neighbors, Cam Scatterbo, Theo Johnson. We'll see what they do with Wan'Dale Robinson, Mighty Mouse. Surprisingly, the Giants' offensive line pass blocking was 4th in the league this past year, which is pretty doggone good. And I do think that's some of it's attributed to Jackson Dart's ability to get out the pocket. Is Jackson Dart a Lamar Jackson? No, but he can still do some things similarly what he did over there with Baltimore with Lamar Jackson with Jackson Dart. Is he going to be the guy that can get out the pocket like a Lamar Jackson? No, but he can get out the pocket and make some things happen. He showed last season with nothing around him. So imagine John Harbaugh brings his statue over there, and he gets the Giants a baseline. I think they could be a good team, good and up-and-coming team over in the NFC East. The Eagles are not as dominant as they once were. the Cowboys, they're the Cowboys. They could be beaten, and the Commanders that fell all the way off. They just got rid of Cliff Kingsbury because they say there were some issues of what they wanted to do with Jaden Daniels, and then you see the results. Jaden Daniels got hurt multiple times this year, so I think that's 1A, 1B. And I think those are the only two teams he should be considering. I'm not going to the Browns. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to the Raiders over there in the NFC West. Maybe he wants to coach against his brother twice. That's the only good thing that he could do with the Raiders over there. So I don't know. 1A, 1B, 1A Falcons, 1B Giants. That's who I would consider if I was John Harbaugh. But what do you think?
I'm right there with you. So I sent out some links to you guys. Please, fellas, let's try to be one at a time. Let's try to not over speak. LRP, if you want the link, I'll send it to you too as well. But I think I think the Falcons is intriguing, but I don't know, man. Ghost put it in the chat. Couple people put it in the chat. Actually, the Browns is I think an option. Get to stay in the AFC North, and the Browns got an Aboriginal quarterback over there too that he might like to work with. So I don't know. I didn't think about that. So shout out to y'all for dropping that on the show today. Because the Browns is interesting. The more I think about it, I mean, you got a decent defense over there. The Falcons, here's how I see the Falcons. I see the Falcons the next spot for the hottest coordinator. I think that's who's going to go to the Falcons. Whoever the hottest OC is, it might be Mike Kafka. It might be Cliff Kingsbury. It might be one of these other names they got going out there. I think that's the hot spot for the Falcons. I don't think you go to the Falcons if you're a guy like John Harbaugh. He seems to me like one of those, like Giants or Browns. It seems like he's a type of coach that fits in one of those legendary type, like if the Packers had an opening or Bears or somebody like that, I could see John Harbaugh going there. It just seems to me like that would be a fit. So again, it's looking like the Browns might be the Giants' top competition in this one, man. The more I'm thinking about it, man, but I want to get Shakes's comments on this whole situation, man. I know you're a Giants fan, but step out the box for a minute, man. What is the best spot for John Harbaugh? What's good,
Of course. Yeah, what's going on? Good. Y'all can hear me well?
Yeah, you good. You clear, bro.
Nah,
Let me turn the beat down a little bit.
Nah, you good. I was just making sure I'm being heard right. You know how my shit is. But no, I always look at it in that standpoint of, okay, if I'll step in that person's shoes, right? Like, I would be like, all right, if I was that guy, and I got six teams lobbying for me, you know what I'm saying? Which is one of the teams is Miami, which I just heard, you know what I'm saying? And they still got their coach, and they still looking at him like, hey, would you want to come to Miami? You want to come to South Beach?
That's messed up, though, bro. Like, how they gonna do Mikey D over there like that?
But hey man, winning is the game here. We all know that. Now, I'm saying all that because to say it like this, like I look at it in the standpoint of what these teams look like, and like y'all said and brought up, Cleveland looks good. As far as in this standpoint that y'all already mentioned, I heard It's in that North. It's the rivalry between the Ravens. He can go back and get his lick back, right? Like he
Mm-hmm.
can go back, get his lick back, uh, turn that whole organization around, and now, yeah, I mean, he can stick it to the Ravens twice a year and also win over there. Like that. That's the ultimate. Like there's a lot of history between the Ravens and the Browns that I can get into, but I'm not going to
Yeah.
get into that right now,
Yeah.
right? But
Mm-hmm.
it's a lot of history between those organizations, and to go to that team, it's very intriguing, and it's not like they don't have a quarterback that you think that you could possibly win with, because they do. The guys are looking at Shador in that way.
Mm-hmm.
Um, you got a strong nose defense, right? You got a pass rusher who just broke the sack record. Um, you have a run game and a young running back in Quinshawn Jenkins. And so you have intriguing parts, and they still have I believe, a high draft pick. I think they got two. I think they got two. I'm not sure. Fact check me. But either way, you still got a high draft pick. You got cap money. That is a desirable place to go. I also look at Atlanta. You got a young quarterback in Penix. You know
Mm-hmm.
what I'm saying? The defense ain't that bad. You got some talent there with B. John Robinson, Drake London, um, tight end. What's his name? He's I'm drawing a blank on his name, but y'all know what I'm talking about. The tight end over there, dynamic. He went off this year. Um, so they got intriguing pieces, but then you look at the Giants, and you got Dark, and you got that defense that look crazy, and everybody's going Google Gaga for that defense. And then you got a Malik Neighbors, and you got a strong duo combo running back as well. He's like, man, these these spots right here, I think is the favorable spots. I think it's New York, Cleveland, Atlanta, and to me, even not being biased, when you talk about a legacy standpoint, if you win something in Atlanta, that's cool. That's how, I mean, the urban culture going to back you up, and it's going to be nice. It's nice to win in Atlanta. It's even a more thing to win in Cleveland, in Ohio, which they are starving and thirsty for some, you know what I mean, a win. Like even before they lost their team, they was starving and thirsty and hungry for a win. You know what I'm saying? So if you
Mm-hmm.
can make that city and state win, you can be big. But there's nothing like winning in New York. Nothing like winning in New York. Now, don't lose in New York because they'll kill you. The Wolves will come, right?
Right.
Right.
Right? Right? The Wolves will come. But if you win in New York, they will put you up like the monkey did Simba. Like you are him. You know what I'm saying? You are him. They will put you on that pedestal. You are nobody is like you. I can remember even Rex Ryan winning for the Jets, how the New York uh guys was backing him up, even though he was going saying crazy stuff against the media. It didn't matter because why? Because he was winning games in New York. There is nothing like it, bro. You solidify your legacy as one of the best of all time if you can win in New York. Ask Kaufman. So that's all my soliloquy is about it. Yeah, man. It is a lot of desirable places, but nothing like New York.
Yeah, man, and that's a good that is a good point that you made there. That's why I gave you the game bonus because there ain't nothing like winning in New York. I mean, to be honest with you, like if you do want to take your legendary coaching status to the next level, get a New York team right, any New York team, and you're gonna be put up there because that's the suffering in sports. We do harder the city. You know what I'm saying? This is in place of Heart of the City tonight, actually. Because I want to get this out for you guys. But it in New York, it's so much suffering, bro. Like, as far as the teams not winning and just being not just not winning, but being near the bottom of their leagues. You know what I'm saying? Think about the Nets. Think about the Knicks went through a stretch. The Mets have been bad. The Jets are awful. You know what I'm saying? And it's just round and around. So if you get a New York team right, I mean, yeah, you on point with that one. That is legendary status times 2. But I'm gonna get to Mets, and then we're gonna go to Ghost, and then I'm gonna circle back around, and then we're gonna go into some of these other coaches that are available. But go ahead, Mets.
In my view, I'm kind of heads or tails on the John Harbaugh thing. On the one hand, yes, he would bring credibility, stability, culture, and accountability back into the locker room because John Mara's incompetence, when you combine with Jerry Reese at the tail end of his tenure, Dave Gelman and Joe Shane through the entirety of their tenures, have constantly picked morons who were nowhere near qualified. I mean, yes, Pat Shermer did have a brief stint somewhere else before he came to the Giants, but even then, it's been an epic legacy of failure with the last 10 years ever since Coughlin hung it up. We need some sort of respectability back in the locker room for the Giants throughout this whole throughout the staff as a whole. But on the other hand, how long is this system going to hold up? Baltimore got rid of Harbaugh after 18 years because of the fact they were getting fed up with his somewhat egocentricisms and stubbornness near the end. Throw in the fact that he's basically going to treat Dart in the same vein that Dable did, i.e. try to make him into a Lamar Jackson clone, the same way Dable tried to turn him into a Josh Allen clone. Even though
I don't know about that, Mets. I'm gonna stop you there because this dude worked with Joe Flacco too as a pocket quarterback.
True.
So he's not like this guy that needs a. That's why the Browns thing is interesting. That's why you can't dismiss that because he can work with either or. But
True.
Go ahead, continue. I just want to kind of correct you. You always corrected me, so I'm gonna correct you.
Fair enough, Gene. But anyway, on the other hand, with how impatient and quick to pull the trigger on pink slipping his coaches John Mara has gotten over the last decade, we need this to go we need Harbaugh to stay here for a minimum of 4 years just to see if it can stick.
I mean,
the average has been 2 for the last 4 coaches, and the max has gone 3.5, and that was Dable. But the problem with Dable is he was a whiny, scapegoating brat.
Yeah, I agree with you on that, Mets. But like NYG said to correct you, he won the Super Bowl with Joe Flacco.
I'm aware of that.
So he knows how to maneuver with what he has. You know, he created a whole system for Lamar Jackson. True. You know what I'm saying? He just didn't get there and Lamar Jackson was there. And he was just creating plays like how Dabo was here when Jackson Dart got here. He created a whole system for Lamar Jackson for him to be successful. And he got 2 MVPs and he's had a bunch of winning seasons with Flacco and Lamar Jackson. So that's why I'm intrigued to see what he can do with Jackson Dart. It's not like he's going to run the same system like he did with Lamar Jackson because he's not Lamar Jackson. He can't run like Lamar Jackson. But Jackson Dart has shown that he can maneuver in the pocket. And I think he can, get Jackson Dart to where he wants him to be and put some things around him. He already has 2 tight ends here in Bellinger and Theo Johnson, and he loves using the tight ends. He used the tight ends with Joe Flacco as well. So he will have to get him another receiver. And he has a running game with the New York Giants with Scatterbo and Tyrone Tracy. So it would be intriguing. And I would say this, he would use Chapman better than what the previous regime did too. Because remember, they used Alan Ricard as a fullback and they could use Chapman as a fullback.
That's true.
So, yeah, I like the idea of John Harbaugh. I think it brings consistency and it brings a grown man in the room. You know, if you can hold a job for 18 years, you're doing something correct. But that's the only thing I'll say to that, Mets. You know, he's not going to try to make him a Lamar Jackson clone because you can't make somebody like Lamar Jackson. Just like you can't make somebody like Josh Allen. You just can't. They're unique talents. And that's where you screw up at. If you try to make somebody into a superior talent like that, that's like trying to make somebody into Deion Sanders or somebody. It's not going to happen. They don't have that skill set. They don't have that drive. And they just don't have the blessing that those dudes got. Just keep it a buck. They're blessed. So
that's true.
True that. But I want to get to Ghost Dog. Ghost, welcome to the show. And Ghost, you know,
good, man.
I heard y'all the other night cooking.
You know
yeah, man. I appreciate that, man. Heard y'all the other night cooking.
Yes, sir.
Think about it though. What is truly the best spot for John Harbaugh? If you are in his shoes, where you trying to go?
If I'm in his shoes, quite honestly, and obviously biases aside, it's got to be the Giants, man. You got an up-and-coming new quarterback in the Jackson Dart, a.k.a. New Jack City Dart, as I like to call him. You got Cam Scatterbo, Tyrone Tracy. You got a premier number one wide receiver in Neighbors. You have everything already preset. Now, I understand that he has the nostalgia, the family attachment over there in Cleveland. I get that. And Shador's over there as well. He's a pocket passer. John Harbaugh is familiar with that, a la Joe Flacco. So I get that. And going with the Browns, he gets a chance at getting back at the Ravens twice a year for how long he holds the job, right? So it's just, on the flip side with all that, though, there's just a lot of chaos in that organization. Because despite Shador being there, next year, are they really going to start him? Because think about it. They still got to pay Deshaun Watson, and he's going to be healthy. And chances are, because of the money situation, they're going to tell him, like, yo, you got to start him at least a couple games to see if it's worth the money. You understand what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And that Browns defense is legit. I think it's well above average, but it's a lot. It's a lot. But for me, and again,
you got Giants defense or Browns defense. Like, what defense you rolling with right now?
If I was to take a pick over each one, you know what it is, man, is that their secondary is so much better than ours. And it just makes it up. Like, despite the lacking of, because it's really just Myles Garrett and who else over there that's really rushing the passer.
Nah,
you know
they drafted Mason Graham. They got
Mason Graham, a couple other dudes, but he's the one. He's the premier guy, though. You know what I'm saying? He's like our Brian Burns, is what I'm trying to say. So it's like, who would you rather have, Myles Garrett or Brian Burns? Because that's the real difference maker on each of our lines. As far as this year, because Dex was nowhere to be found. Kayvon is like where he's at. You get what I'm saying? So
yeah.
But right now, I would take the Browns defense over ours. Yeah, I would.
Yeah, I hear you, Ghost. The one thing I will say though, that's working in the Giants' favor, and y'all gotta credit Shakes on this one.
Oh, real quick but let me just add this caveat, and that's because of coaching though, not because of the talent. Let me be corrected on that. We're talking about the 2025 season, right? Or we talking about like going into the future potential wise?
Yeah, I mean, what's the best spot available right now? You know?
Yeah, no, Giants. Yeah, Giants.
You know, now I'm thinking that's interesting. The thing you said about Shedeur Sanders, though, are they committed on Shedeur Sanders? Because I think that makes a big deal, bro. Because you got to think who Shedeur's pops is. You got to think about all the workings on the backside of the NFL, the shit NYG tap into, bro. Like, what I do, I look at the back end of things. You know, I let Pat handle the foot on the field. He gonna break down the stats and scores and the film for you guys. But again, man, when you look at the back end of this shit, Deion Sanders. So I think they want a prominent guy in Cleveland for Sedor. If he's the guy though, but is he? I would think so, but I've been hearing things too that they may look to, go after a quarterback at some point, So I don't know, but I think stability wise, I mean, you basically, you know what I'm saying? It's basically a toss up because both these teams been cheeks, but the Giants have more of a history of winning at a higher level. So they got that in their favor. If I had to pick right now, I'm also going to lean Giants. I don't know how, if you're John Harbaugh, you can justify leaving the Ravens to go to the Browns. That to me is like, all right, it's kind of like somebody getting fired from the Eagles and then going to the Commanders. If you want to put it in an NFC East standpoint, it's just like it's like you're downgrading organizational wise.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So, and you stay in your division, so you got to catch all them bullets whenever they play. He might want that smoke, but if you get fired from a team, you might want to change too. And you got to think. I always point to this too. In the AFC, in the AFC North specifically, where you haven't won and you just got your ass whooped by Pittsburgh, bro. Do you want that smoke if you John Harbaugh? Or do you want to go to the NFC, whether it be the Falcons or Giants, where shit in Atlanta, you pretty much running that division off rip. And with the Giants, I mean, you got the Eagles and Cowboys, but the Giants beat them this year with Mike Kafka. So
Can I play?
I do think the Giants are in the league. And I'm gonna go, hold up real quick. I'm gonna go to what the NFL Network's rankings are, but I will say the Giants probably will be the top right there with the Browns, but I think the Browns situation is a little more dicey, but not by much. But go ahead.
I was just gonna play devil's advocate real quick. As far as like, all the teams is lobbying for him, and rightfully so, that's cool and all that. But then let's really get to the meat and potatoes about it. Like, why are you on the market? What happened in Baltimore? And from what I'm hearing, this is just reports that I'm hearing. All right. He has this bravado about him, which rightfully so, he has won in his league. So he has this Coughlin-esque, shout out to Dart for saying that, but he has this Coughlin-esque type of mystique with him. And from what has been said, is he's been fired because he had refused to get rid of his offensive coordinator in Todd Monk. They wanted him gone.
So that's the guy that was refusing to run the ball with goddamn Derrick Henry. You son of a biscuit eater. But anyway, go ahead. Todd Monken, okay. He cost me fantasy this year. But anyway, go ahead.
Y'all can hear me? Or am I on?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think you gonna start glitching out though. I don't know if you switched. It sounds like you switched.
Facts.
I got it.
Hold on, I'll be right back.
For some reason.
I got it. Hold on, I'll be back.
All right. Now let's get to some of the other. First, I'm gonna show you the rankings of where they got these teams at. So we kind of talked about it already. The Raiders Raiders got the number 1 pick, man. Anyway that the Raiders can sell somebody on the number 1 pick and take in the kid Mendoza, I think that's the coach they'll get. I wouldn't say that'll be John Harbaugh though. I highly doubt he will go to the Raiders. The Raiders, they don't got a lot when you think about an organization that's basically being ran by Tom Brady now. Look, people like Tom Brady. I'm not a Tom Brady fan. And you just brought in Pete Carroll, another legendary coach, and then you fired him after 1 season. So I'm not buying this shit with the Raiders, bro. The Raiders are cheeks. They're one of the worst ran franchises in the NFL. We talked about the Giants and Browns, but the Raiders are definitely well below them organizational wise, bro. They don't know what they're doing over there. They just going over there getting checks from them Davis boys.
My bad, bro. But,
and I mean, yeah, that's what they doing. You know what I'm saying? But we're gonna switch gears here real quick. We're gonna go through some of these teams and talk about them.
Real quick. Let me finish this point though, and I'm gonna be fast. So
Go ahead.
my point of bringing all that up was, he didn't want to fire his offensive coordinator. He gets fired. My thing is, that could be like something that scares Joe Shane, right? Because I don't think Joe Shane has ever dealt with a personality that huge, right? That big. And
I want you to do me a favor. I want you to save that because I'm gonna get to the Giants on this list as we talk about each team, and who they should be, going after. So I want you to save that, and when we get to the Giants, I'm gonna give you the floor first. Just because I'm telling you to do this, because I do want to get to some of these other teams and move it along. And it's because I know where you're going, and it's important to note too. And I do want to speak on the Joe Shane situation because everybody's so enamored with the GM of the Giants for some reason. Nobody else is talking about their GM but the New York Giants fans. So I do want you to hold that. The Raiders, though, who has Tom Brady as their de facto GM, pretty much. Even though he's an owner, he's running the head coaching search. So that's why I'm saying that, and it's reported.
He's the head of football operations.
Right, a head of football operations. Something else we talked about here. Give myself a game bonus for that one. Now, what do the Raiders have to offer, though? You got the number 1 pick. You're going to have a lot of say so because they ain't really got nobody else telling you outside of Tom Brady, and he's fucking doing games for fucking Fox. So, but what do the Raiders have to offer, man? Y'all go ahead and talk on that, man. The Raiders coming in here at 7. It's only 7 jobs. They got them at the bottom, the worst. I want to go back to front. So they're the worst. They're the worst. Yeah, pause. But they're the worst on that one. But what y'all think about the Raiders? Go ahead, Ghost.
I mean, outside of Ashton Genty, man, and what's old boy, the tight end? His name is eluding me right now. Brock Bowers. What is there really to talk about? Because now Max Crosby over there sounding like he want out. To be frank.
Yeah.
So there's a reason why the Raiders is where they at right now in a lot of different ways. Number 7 on this list and number 1 in the draft board. So this is a no-go.
I'm gonna make a case for everybody though. All these teams, I'm gonna make a case for them, right? Because I look at them and I'm like, all right, well, what's good about them and what's bad about them? I like to do that. That's what I do. You gotta look at all sides. So, I'm gonna defend these Vegas guys, man. Since you want to be down on them, nah, man. They got the number 1 pick, right? You know what I'm saying? They got the number 1 pick, So that means they get the Mendoza. They got the Mendoza sweepstakes here. All right. So that's dangling. They
Got
got
them
money.
nose.
You know what I'm saying? They got cat money. So they can do, you know what I mean, do some things in free agency. Now, you said Genty, you know what I'm saying? And I think after that, that's about it as far as what you look at
Exactly.
on the players on the field. But you know what I'm saying, with the cat money and all that stuff, you know what I'm saying? It look like you can make some moves here. So if you're a guy that's looking at it, you can definitely build this team in your mode, in your way, because there's not a lot of things that's in your way, like, oh, they got a premier wide receiver that needs to get the ball. No, they don't. You know what I'm saying? So, you fix the trenches, you run the ball with Genty, and you got a quarterback or a young quarterback in Mendoza. I mean, it don't sound too bad. Maybe the worst, but it don't sound too bad.
Mm, mm, mm. Sound like a lot of work for a 63-year-old coach.
Facts.
And
They
you look
just
at it in
hired
a
a
hardball standpoint,
79-year-old coach.
yeah, you look at it in a hardball standpoint, yeah, kind of works. Yeah.
And then you not even thinking about the division you play in. You still got the Chiefs, even though they had a down year. You got the Chargers
Broncos is on the up and come up. Chargers, yeah, and then he be
and,
facing his brother
and the
twice a year. You don't want
Broncos.
that.
Man, bro, look, only thing you got going over there with the Raiders, I ain't mean to cut nobody off, but damn,
Yeah.
like your top player want to be gone. The organization, and then Mendoza. I know people like this Mendoza kid, but he's the only thing smoking in this draft. That's why they promote them so much, bro. Like it's to be honest with you, I'm trying to trade out that first pick if I'm the Raiders. I'm not taking Mendoza because I don't think he's gonna survive over there. He's I ain't saying he trash, but he's not ascended. He's like if you got a great situation, then yeah, he can do some things, but your situation is terrible over there, and you got a tight end and Michael Mayer that doesn't even get used over there. And Brock
And he
Bowers has
nice.
got,
Yeah.
he's actually nice. And Brock Bowers got hurt. You don't know what their offensive line is like. And then it's just Vegas, bro. Like, you got too much shit over there in Vegas, man. Them dudes could get into too much stuff over there.
It's like Miami, ain't
Yeah,
it? Pat?
basically. It's
Probably
basically
worse.
you go there to get a check. But it might be worse. To be honest with you, I ain't even gonna front. It might be worse. Like,
No
you just
bullshit.
most dudes that come over there just coming to get a check, man. And then Max Crosby, the guy that does want to win, he wants out because he knows that you ain't got shit to win. So if I'm hard, I'm definitely not going to the Raiders to get my ass kicked by the Chiefs, Broncos, and Chargers twice a year. Hell no. Sorry, I can't go over there with the Raiders, but I mean it's good and bad to everything. Damn, Shakes. It is over there, bro.
Let's
It's bad. But
let's
it
go
ain't that
to,
bad.
let's go to our next team. We're gonna talk about the Tennessee Titans. Now the Tennessee Titans are an interesting case here. Tennessee is picking what, third or second? Let me see. I think Tennessee is fourth. So the Titans have the fourth pick in the draft, and they got the number one pick from a year ago, and that's Cam Ward. Now, Cam Ward got hurt. Titans ended up firing their coach. I believe it was the Callahan guy. And a couple games into the season, so they was rolling on with a interim coach. So they got a lot of cap space, like you see the article here. You got Jeffrey Simmons, you got a high draft pick, but it's the Tennessee Titans. Now, I will say this for any coach, and we're going to talk about some of the coaches too. I'm going to get to the teams, then we're going to get to the coaches, then we're going to put it together. Y'all hit that like button, man. We're going to cook a little bit tonight if y'all got some time. Check it out, though. That is a spot that you in the AFC South But then AFC South got kind of better though. I ain't gonna front to you because it Jaguars is cooking. They're in the playoffs, and you got the Colts and Texans. Might not be a good spot for you.
Man,
so I don't know. But I do like Cam Ward, and I do like the Titans from a standpoint of if you get their defense right and you get their running game right, they're usually a good team, bro. Like that's where Derrick Henry came from. You know what Mike Vrabel did over there with Tennessee. You cannot not, and they was winning with Ryan Tannehill at one point. So I do think they got some pieces, but man, I don't know what the direction of the organization is right now, and they didn't do Cam Ward any favors at all this year. That kid suffered in Tennessee, man, but they got them 6, man. What's your thoughts on the Tennessee Titans opener?
Yeah.
Go ahead, say what you guys say. What's your thoughts?
Yeah, honestly, this is a team that's going to be stuck in a rut for a while. I mean, Callahan has proven he can be he's as incompetent as most any first-year coordinator that's nowhere near qualified to be a head coach. Ward got beat up so badly because he doesn't have a good O-line to safeguard him. The weapons aren't really there. I mean, they haven't really been there since they shipped A.J. Brown out to Philadelphia in 21 or 22. I don't remember when it was. And
yeah,
I just
don't
don't really.
Brown thing is still haunting them.
Yeah.
And so, sure, they've got the cap space to make some moves in the draft in April, but I'm not sure if it's going to do much for them.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to do much for them either, Mets. Tennessee is a team, man. It's just like Eric said. I mean, that's all you could say is
T stand for trash.
Right.
Trash. All right, man. Let's
So
go ahead. Go ahead, Shakes.
looking at the good in this, you know what I'm saying? You got a young quarterback. You know what I mean? You got
I
you
do
got a high
like
draft
Ward.
pick.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got a high draft pick. That if you can match up a Arvell Reese with Simmons, that sounds a little nasty. But yeah, this situation might be worse than the Raiders right now.
That's what I was thinking. The same thing,
bro.
bro. Coach. I mean, fucking Shakes, man. I was thinking the same thing, bro. I was like, damn. When I really think about it, they might be worse off than the
Raiders.
That's
the only saving grace is the $100 million in cap space. They're gonna have a fire sale. They're gonna be buying up crazy pieces.
And you got Cam Ward. The Raiders don't have a quarterback.
You gotta do right by him.
On Mendoza.
They have to. They got to fix that O-line. First things first.
Yeah.
But the problem is, there's not a lot of offensive linemen in free agency that's going to impact
they're going to have to draft
a team like that.
They have to spend money.
Let's go to the next team, man. Arizona Cardinals. This one is very interesting, man. Cause the Cardinals, I mean, yeah, they 3-14 this year, but gotta remember Kyler Murray got hurt. Jonathan Gannon fired. You remember Jonathan Gannon, old DC from Philly. Look, man, they got Marvin Harrison Jr. They got some talent. Trey McBride. But Kyler Murray is the issue here. What do you do with Kyler? Mr. Call of Duty himself. I'm joking. I'm picking, but what you gonna do with this situation here? And that's what's messing up the Cardinals situation, because they actually do got talent. Them boys was competing, man, at some point in the season, man. They just fell off, man, once the quarterback got hurt. But how y'all feel about the Cardinals? I do think they gotta probably move on from Kyler Murray, because at this point, I don't think Kyler Murray is a bad quarterback. I just question whether he's truly has his heart in the football. He just looked like a dude that could be doing some other shit. Like, remember, he played baseball. You know, they was messing with him about the video game shit, but it just, and he stays hurt. It just seems to me as like at some point you're gonna get to a point where it's like, all right, you just not holding us up. They only made the playoffs one time since Kyler Murray's been there, and they got whooped in that playoff game, if I'm remembering right. So he was turning the ball over and just looked like he didn't belong. You know what I mean? So small quarterback. Cardinals were good when they had Kurt Warner. I think that's the direction they need to go into. They need to pair up Marvin Harrison Jr. with another top-notch receiver and just go full-on Larry Fitzgerald and Quan Bolden mode with Kurt Warner. Kyler Murray ain't that quarterback, though. So, yeah, a little iffy over there with the Cardinals, but what's your thoughts on Arizona?
This one here, man, bro, like, maybe the Raiders should try to trade for Kyler Murray. You know what I'm saying? Maybe
that'd be crazy
with the Raiders. You know what I'm saying? You know, Marvin Harrison Jr. is not living up to the generational height, lineage or whatever you want to call it. As of right now, he's been getting hurt too. It's like, man, that team, man, bro, I don't be real with you. I don't know what the Cardinals either, bro. Because Gannon, I mean, yeah, man, it's one of them teams they like the Dolphins too. You just go there, collect your check.
Out in the desert.
Call it the day.
The Cardinals do compete. Like, this is a real down year for the Cardinals. Because the Cardinals, when you think about it, they usually around that little
500 mark.
7, 8-ish mark. So they're not a terrible team. They're a mid team. You got a couple mid teams. You got the Dallas Cowboys. You got the Miami Dolphins. You got teams like the Cardinals, the Falcons. They just mid, bro. Mid. And that is the perfect definition. Like, you don't suck enough and you pause and you don't you're not good enough to really do anything. You know, this year they're pretty bad. This is a real down year for the Cardinals, but they're usually mid. But y'all got it. What you got? Mets, go ahead, Mets.
If you ask me, I say you give Kyler Murray one last year shot and then move on from him and get a quarterback in the 27 draft if I'm Arizona.
That's a fact.
It's not a bad plan, for real.
I mean, that's about all I can come up with for Arizona going forward.
His trade value is the most right now, though. Because if you go another year and they don't do shit again, his trade value is going to be ass.
I do think they should move off him. And if they do get a good trade, you never know. You could stack some picks. You know what I'm saying? And like Matt said, just ride it out next year. You're not expecting to be a good team. And they got a real up climb in their division now, man, with Seattle getting as good as they are, yo. And then you got the 49ers, the Rams. Like, it's rough.
Another division where you're going to take a
crazy.
I'm not going over there if I want my legacy to be good.
Yeah. It's pretty rough over there, man. But
he's struggling for, you know what I mean? For too long. He ain't gonna be able to do it. 63 years old. You gotta remember, man, he's 63. He's got 7 good years at best, maybe 10. Maybe. So
not trying to waste 4 of them over there with the car.
At least 3.5.
And then I get fired from the Cardinals. My legacy is ass now.
If you get fired for the Cardinals, it's hard to get another job in the NFL. So
That's a fact.
You see what Cliff Kingsbury going through right now.
Yeah,
the boy, remember the boy Steve Wilkes? Oh, Steve Wilkes got
man,
filthy.
he's stay getting fired.
That nigga
Wilkes stay getting fired, bro.
Yeah, but remember he was the one that took that Josh Rosen bullet. Because remember, he drafted Rosen. And they fired him after one season, and they drafted Kyler Murray and hired Cliff Kingsbury. That was the guy that took the fall for that one.
And then he took the fall for the 49ers, losing that Super Bowl to the Chiefs.
Yeah, he took
Wilkes, boy. Man, boy, looking for Wilkes.
Wilkes is a fall guy. You need a fall guy.
Man, yes.
Don't he sound like a fucking law firm or some shit?
Yeah,
called Wilkes and Co. Yeah. You need a fall guy.
They getting fired, bro.
Did you get into a truck accident?
Yeah.
Call Wilkes.
Call Wilkes and Co.
Like, he's the version of the head coach's practice squad. Like, he's getting hurt. I mean, yeah, hurt, fired.
Yeah, his feelings.
Yeah,
just keep getting fired. Nigga. I can't do right.
His job security is ass.
All right, man. We're gonna Shakes though. Shakes. I know you said you got a case. What's your case for the Cardinals? Because I want to hear this. What you got? If you still
all right, guys, looking good at everything, right?
Yeah.
All right. So, dang. Nah, they got two.
Damn.
No, but they got two good wide receivers. Well, should be good wide receivers in Marvin Harrison Jr. and the guy Wilson. Man, Wilson had a big year this year.
Yeah, Michael Wilson did have.
Yeah, I forgot about Wilson. He went on.
He was on my fantasy team.
And then you also have one of the top tight ends in the league, and
Trey McBride. Yeah, he nice.
Yeah, Trey McBride. You know what I'm saying? The thing is, I think the problem is the quarterback. I'm sorry, LLP, and I know you listening. I know this your boy, bro, but I told you to jump, bro. I told you, bro. He too small, bro. And y'all know I defend this little man Tate, bro. Y'all know I do, bro. But that dude is just too small, bro. For the NFL, period, bro. Like, you can't see over your offensive lineman. You gotta run out the launching pad just to throw the ball, and then you getting all these hits. That's why you getting hurt every year, bro. Yeah, like, let this be done. Let him be a career backup now, please. He's a career backup, all right. So, but the problem is they paid him so much money. They went all in on him. They did what the Giants did with Dave. So that's the problem. But hey, you can go ahead and eat up one more year, pause. You know what I'm saying, with him, with that money, and draft a guy either this year or next year, like Met said. Shout out to Met. But you know what I mean? Then you can just move from there, because I think the problem is the quarterback. I think that's what's holding them back.
Yeah. Because remember, they had that year with, well, they had a couple games with Josh Dobbs, and them dudes was playing, bro. Like,
yeah, they were.
They got talent. That's what I'm saying. They just this dude keep getting hurt, and it sets them back every time, bro. The Cardinals got a bad history of injuries too. I remember their wide receivers stay being hurt over there, bro. Mm-hmm. And Marvin Harrison going through something similar, man. So, all right, let's keep it pushing. All right, here we go. We got an interesting here one now. The Falcons. A lot of y'all been talking about the Falcons. I'm gonna be honest with you. The Falcons seem like a hot team for the hottest offensive coordinator that's out there, because they got the goods, bro. Like, if you get Michael Penix Jr. back healthy, you know, I'm not out on him. I hope the Falcons aren't, because the dude can still sling the football. The Falcons' problem has always been their defense. But this year, you got to look at, they got Kirk Cousins, Michael Penix Jr., And that quarterback situation over there is iffy too. Now, when Penix come back, I think they'll be solidified. But what coach wants to go over there and coach Michael Penix Jr.? And I'm look, this is a brother, but I'm just being honest. He's hurt. And you're the Falcons. You should be better in your division than what you are. They let Carolina win that division. So, again, you keep letting the other teams get better. Eventually, it's going to put you on the back end. That's my concern with the Falcons. Now, 8-9, even in a bad year, which is weird that Raheem Morris gets. We're going to talk about that at some point, but it's just crazy that some of these coaches get fired and they really ain't did that terrible of a job. The dude lost his fucking starting quarterback. Still got him to 8-9. They didn't win the division, but I know they have higher expectations. But how can your expectations be when you lose your fucking quarterback? So I don't know. They still made something of their season, and they have probably that's going to be the offensive player of the year in Bijan Robinson. Like, you can do a lot with that offense with him, Drake London, Kyle Pitts and company. So I think they're the spot for the hottest offensive coordinator that can go in there, cook, do what the Falcons do, which is score points. They always been a high-scoring, high-offensive team with little to no defense. That's how they win. It got them to a Super Bowl. We know what happened in that shit, though. But, again, they still got there. That's how they win. And, hey, Falcons, a lot of y'all said the Falcons was one of the best jobs out there. I stated my case. What y'all got?
Yeah, like I said, 1A, 1B, and I got the Falcons 1A. 1B the Giants. I think the Falcons is a heck of a job to have because their defense is not as bad as it usually is. I think they got some good corners out there. They got good safety play. They got good edge rushers. Remember I told you they drafted those 2 edge rushers last year. And
they did draft what's his name?
Pierce
and the
other guy from Georgia, I do believe. And they showed up and they showed out. You got decent linebacker play. You got offense. Now the thing that's hurting them is, what's up, Mosley? Penix tore his ACL again. I didn't know that was his injury. He tore his ACL again. So
that's what I'm saying. That thing is scary, bro. Like, I'm worried about him, bro.
So you gotta see what that ACL tear is looking like, and you gotta make a decision, bro. And Kirk Cousins is not it. I'm just gonna be real with you. Kirk Cousins is not it. You got to go with Michael Penix, see what you got with Michael Penix. And if he gets injured again next year, then you move off of him and you continue to build. But that's a very good job to have because you could take the pressure off Michael Penix with a Bijan Robinson, who was one of the best players in the NFL. Not just best running back, one of the best players in the NFL. So and then you got Drake London up and coming, Xavier Watts, that safety that they got over there, balling. James Pierce, they drafted, balling. You just got to figure out that Kirk Cousins shit. Like me, I'm getting him out the fucking building. You know what I'm saying? You're too much of you're too much of a enigma on the team, and he getting paid all this guaranteed money, and he ain't, man, Kirk chains, all that dumbass shit. Get him out the building. Find out what you have in Penix. If he's not it, then move off of him and get your quarterback and let's roll. Because you got the pieces. You do. And get yourself and get yourself a legit number 2 receiver. Freaking what's that little Darnell Mooney? He's another too small little guy trying to be a number 2 receiver.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So get yourself a legit number 2 receiver to go with Drake London, and let's roll. You got Kyle Pitts. He came on at the end of the last season. You're not gonna have to pay him much. So, hey, Eric Johnson, you know what I'm saying? Get his ass out the building, bro, because he's bringing a huge cloud over that organization. I'm tired of people talking about him. Get him out of there. You know what I'm saying? He's one of those quarterbacks that you just got to get out of there. Let him go to the Dolphins or something and get his nice paycheck.
Kirk Gold Chains. That's great.
Yeah,
Can't stand that.
But Ghost, what you
like
got,
that?
bro? What's your feelings about these dang on Falcons, man?
Honestly, man, this is the other team that kind of scares me as far as snatching up John Harbaugh. You know what I mean? Like Pat said, man, you know, Bijan Robinson, premier running back over there. He's just getting better as the time goes. Drake London up and coming as well, as Pat said. Defense, again, isn't as bad as what people might think it is. Like, at least not in terms of, like, from Falcons past. However, again, the quarterback situation, man, and, you know, it's just one of those things where we hate to be those people who point it out, but sometimes the quarterback is the, you know, it's what stands out the most in terms of lacking. And not to say that Michael Penix doesn't have talent. It's just the ACL situation with him now is just, it's starting to become a situation, because it was a situation way back in college. And now it's a situation here in the league. So we'll see, man. We'll see.
Shakes, what you got for us, bro?
So here's the thing, bro. Y'all done praised this team, right? So I'm going to say the bad now, because y'all done gave a lot of good. I done heard it. And here's one of the things I get to gloat once again and pat myself on the back post. But seriously, because in that draft, one of my major quotes that people kept throwing back at me from after the draft of that year, because I kept saying, I am not drafting Penix in the first round. I'll draft him in the second, but them injuries is going to scare teams away. I don't think he's going to get drafted in the first round. I damn sure know that the Giants are not going to do it in the first round. Now, in the second round, that's cool. You know what I mean? Because it's less of a risk. But to go with the first round, I didn't see it. Then the Falcons said, fuck all that, and they drafted him anyway. Right? And everybody kept saying, oh, I thought he wasn't going to get drafted in the first round. Say so. Okay, y'all got that. But now, hindsight, who was right once again? Because now you can't sit there. Now you have your organization in a flux, because you like, yo, all right, we stood 10 toes on this Penix, and this is our guy, but he keeps on getting injured, just like he was getting injured in college. Now, you know what I mean, you're kind of holding our organization hostage, because everything relies on you and your health. You know what I'm saying?
How he holding them hostage though, bro? Like that.
Because, well, what I'm saying is like, in order for the Falcons to be good, he has to be healthy and good.
Here's my pushback with that, Shakes.
Sure.
They drafted him on the backs of them signing Kirk Cousins to a fucking huge contract, bro. So the Falcons didn't even know what the fuck they wanted to do from a quarterback standpoint. This dude had somebody looking over his shoulder from the jump. What quarterback comes into a situation like that? It's weird, bro.
And that was my whole point of the draft. Like, why would they even do that? That was stupid. But my thing is, you can't say they don't know what they wanted to do with the quarterback if you sit there and draft that quarterback, what was it, 8th, 7th, whatever. You know what I'm saying? It was in the top 10.
So you can't give up on them then. You see what I'm saying?
Exactly. You can't. But now what I said, because what I'm saying is he's holding them hostage as far as, you know what I mean? Now
But
they
that's on
rely,
them. That ain't on him.
yeah, I mean, they rely on his health for that organization
They
to
didn't
go
though.
on.
That's what I'm telling you.
But they are now.
They had Kirk Cousins. That's why they had Kirk Cousins. You basically had two suspect as far as injury quarterbacks on your roster because they were scared of Kirk Cousins. Because remember, he was coming back from an injury when they drafted Penix, and then they drafted Penix knowing that he had injury concerns. And then both of them get hurt. And it's like, bro, that's them, bro. Yeah. I'm not putting that on Penix.
That's what you did as an organization, making that investment and saying, okay, yeah, I mean, we're going to draft this guy in the first round, top 10 or whatever. He's our future. This is him. You know what I mean? Now, whenever he's ready, whatever, whoop-de-whoop. But yeah, this is our future. So now they put that in him, and I don't think he can carry that. Like I said, that's why I felt like he shouldn't have been drafted in the first round. I thought he should have been drafted in the second. But all in all, yeah, I think that's what it is with them. Now, it's all relies on his health. But go ahead, Pat. I hear you.
I just want to clear a little something about the statements that were made by Shakes. I truly do believe they are dependent on Michael Penix getting them out of the ground because that was your plan from the get-go. If Kirk Cousins didn't pan out, which didn't happen, you drafted Michael Penix to come in there and pick up the slack. But on to NYG's point, that was stupid, and that's on them as well. So I don't know if he's saying that he's putting it on Michael Penix as if Michael Penix is the reason why they're not being good and everything is on him. I think he's saying you put him in that situation and you should have never done that.
Exactly.
You should have never done that.
That's exactly what I'm saying.
Yeah. So I don't think Shakes is saying that.
Yeah, we saying the same thing. Yeah, they shouldn't have never drafted him. I was shocked when they did that. I'm always shocked by the Falcons draft picks. Like they're the team that surprises me the most during the draft. And we've been to 2 drafts live. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, what the fuck did they just do? When they took Bijan Robinson, bro, they took Penn. Like, I was like, what the fuck is this team doing? And what they're doing is they're trying to build another offensive juggernaut. See, teams have personalities. A team will take on this overall personality based on history. That's why I told y'all what I told y'all about the Cardinals. Just be another high-flying team. Get you a big, tall, strong-arm quarterback. Get you another wide receiver to pair with Marvin Harrison Jr. Y'all like Wilson. Okay, then. Cook with that shit. Be a high-flying team. I like James Conner when he was healthy. Same thing with the Falcons. Just be that high-flying team. And I think Penix is a quarterback that can sling the rock around and get the ball to these guys, but you're always going to have that hanging over your head like if this dude gets hurt. But that's the league, bro. That's the league. And see, that's why it's nothing you can really do about it. What they need to do is build a better team and stop focusing all the way on your offense. They got pieces on defense too. I get it, AJ Terrell, James Pierce, as you mentioned, Pat. Shout out to you, but they need more pieces on defense, bro, and you need more of a well-balanced breakfast. And stop, put it on your offense because that's the type of team y'all going to want to be, but you need your defense to carry you at some point. And the Falcons' defense never carries them. They're all offense, bro. Even when their defenses are decent or good, like you said, they're still an offensive-based team. But, all right, man. We get into the meat and potatoes now. Browns, man. We talked about the Browns, and we also talked about the Giants. What about the Ravens? Who's going to Baltimore? That's the best job according to them. They got the Giants at 2, which I think we all agree is the best job outside of Baltimore.
Mm-hmm.
But we ain't talked about the Ravens' actual coaching vacancy yet. So I want to get into that with y'all. Who should the Ravens be looking at? Mets, I'm going to start off with you. You ain't said nothing in a minute. Go ahead.
I was thinking maybe they try to extend an olive branch to the University of Michigan and try to get Wink back, but I'm not sure how well that would play out.
Yeah, I don't know about that.
But the next best option, I mean, you could try Raheem Morris, who got fired from Atlanta, but the problem with him is his philosophy and Jackson's philosophy are oil and water. They don't mix. Morris is a great D coordinator, but as we saw with the head coaching job, the 2 year stint he had at Atlanta as a head coach, he's mediocre at best. Now, to be fair, the NFC South is a division no one wants to win nowadays. I mean, the fact that Atlanta had to help Carolina win the crown this year is a bit embarrassing.
Yeah, but is it his fault?
In all honesty, no. It was mostly injuries, a tough schedule, and the fact that they had a bit of a hack in the front office, whispering sweet nothings to the owner.
Sweet nothings.
I heard that in a minute.
Right. What you got on the Ravens, Pat?
I think the Ravens are at a crossroads. Is it a good roster? Yes, but what's the mindset of that roster? You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
You know, the loss of John Harbaugh, people are underestimating that with that Ravens roster. I'll be honest with you.
Lamar Jackson seems hurt.
So I don't think he's that hurt. I think he wanted Harbaugh gone.
You think so?
Him and Harbaugh weren't getting along. They didn't even shake hands after the last game. He walked right past Harbaugh.
Why is that though?
I don't know, bro. Like,
because I felt like he did that dude a solid.
Man, he did Lamar Jackson a solid, bro. He did. So
because they wanted to make that dude a receiver. I remember that shit, bro.
Like, what is going to be the mindset of that Ravens team, bro? Like, because they just lost their foundation, bro. Let's keep it a buck. They lost that bricklayer foundation that they had with John Harbaugh. You know what to expect from the Ravens when John Harbaugh is there. But now that he's gone, what they gonna do with Lamar Jackson now? What system you gonna run with Lamar Jackson now? Are you gonna try to run a traditional system with Lamar Jackson? You know what I'm saying? Yeah, it's a disconnect. It was. And I don't understand it because when he got you to the big games, you always seem to have some major turnover or some stupid always. Like this last game, the kicker missed a field goal. That's not on John Harbaugh. You know what I'm saying? What's up, Jada God? Like, and if they bring somebody in that can't rebuild that foundation, go ahead, hire a hotshot offensive coordinator. You got to know what to do with Lamar Jackson. You know what I'm saying? Or are you just going to let him run wild and free? Yeah, he might put up some stats here and there, but shit, it might get even worse. The stupidity in the games might turn into everything now. You know what I'm saying? Maybe, I don't know, bro. That Ravens team, man, it could get ugly over there. And then you got all these contracts coming up. Hamilton coming up. Humphrey coming up. Their defensive lineman coming up. Patrick Queen, not Queen, but Roquan Smith coming up. You know what I'm saying? You just signed Lamar Jackson. Are you going to give Henry another extension? You know, what about that offensive line? They're getting older now. Can you depend on Zay Flowers to be your number one receiver? Isaiah Likely is a free agent. What's the Mark Andrews is getting older. You know what I'm saying? This is not bro. I don't know, bro. It could get bad over there, bro. I'm telling you, it could get bad over there, bro. Real talk. That dude John Harbaugh behind the scenes held a lot of that shit together, and he made that system for Lamar Jackson for him to come in there and be a part of it. So I don't know, bro. I don't know. I don't know, man.
It's crazy
All
because
right.
supposedly he real quick, he had lost the locker room over there, supposedly.
Yeah, they turned on him.
And I'll say this: here's a little monkey wrench in this whole situation. I think Mike Tomlin would be a perfect fit over there.
Yeah,
Let him get his walking papers from the Steelers if old man Rodgers can't take him to the promised land, and watch what happens.
Yeah, bro.
they'll be right back to where they were. That's a fact, but
Yeah.
I don't know, bro.
Baltimore is interesting because they basically are a ready-made team. So I think Baltimore, I don't know if a first-time head coach is gonna like they're in a bad coaching cycle right now because if Tomlin or nobody comes available from the playoffs, I don't know. You know what I'm saying? Let's look at this real quick. So here's some candidates, and this actually comes from the Ravens website. So this is who they're looking at, but we can also kind of throw this out there with the other teams as well. Let's talk about some candidates, man. Let's go into that real quick. So Stefanski, we know. Joe Brady, Bills offensive coordinator. How y'all feel about him?
Okay.
Just with anybody. Y'all can talk about the Giants too. I know you want to talk about the Giants. So Joe Brady, he's a candidate. A lot of people connected him to the Giants, you know, Joe Shane, you know.
No.
Hey, I'm just saying, bro. You know how they like to
related
do.
to the Bills right now. I want nothing to deal with. You hear me? Because there's your man. What's his name? The head coach over there. Don't be surprised if it wasn't Miami and it was the Bills that made that phone call to inquire about John Harbaugh. I'm just saying, man. The Bills, bro. It's Josh Allen or nothing over there.
Yeah, we've been saying that for years.
You know,
Shakes, you there? What you got, bro?
Yeah, what's up?
How you feel about Joe
Well,
Brady?
Brady, man. Brady. No, I don't want him for the Giants, but I think the best candidate for the Ravens is Stefanski, though.
yeah.
I think
Yeah,
that's
I'm starting to think that too. But
the best guy for the Ravens.
I do like this one a little bit better though. Brian Flores. I think he will fucking cook over there with Baltimore.
Yeah, he would.
Bro, I'm telling you, bro.
He would.
Yo, he just got that demeanor of a Baltimore Raven type team.
And Baltimore,
definitely can see him. I was going to say Shula too. Shula was another name I was going to throw out there for the Ravens.
Not far-fetched for Baltimore to do this. Not far-fetched.
So I do like Flores for Baltimore. We got Vance Joseph. He's been around a while, but I don't know about him. Broncos D coordinator. Broncos defense is good though. Real good. How y'all feel about Vance?
I know he got an interview with the Giants too.
Yeah, the Giants are probably going to interview most of these coaches that we're going to talk about. So that's why I'm going down this list.
Yeah.
But even if you talk about the Ravens, the Giants, or whoever, what the coach or whoever coach they hire, he's got to build a staff. So some of these guys that don't get coaching jobs, they will be available to be coordinators. So keep that in mind as well. All right. Cliff Kingsbury. I don't know how you hire Cliff Kingsbury if you anybody. Like for real, as a coach, as a head coach. He just got fired as the OC from DC. So I don't know how you go in on Cliff. But weirdly enough, I have heard New York Giants fans particularly that said they would like Cliff Kingsbury to come to New York. How y'all feel about that, man? Y'all hit
No.
that like button, man. We
Negative.
cooking.
Hell no.
Negative.
Let's go.
Hell no. If
Hell
you-
no to the no.
That's
Hell
that.
to the no.
Unless that
No.
defense turns into a Hall of Fame defense, I don't want no part of it.
No parts. Him or Clint Kubiak. I ain't gonna hold you.
Because, man, he
Doodle,
couldn't get it done with Kyler Murray or
Jane
Jaden
Daniels.
Mm.
So,
That's
I don't
doodle,
want
baby.
him to have no part of that.
Hell no.
That's doodle, baby.
Right.
No. All right. Not Cliff, but Clint. How about Clint Kubiak? How y'all feel about him? Seahawks offensive coordinator. Now, this dude is getting a lot of hype. What he did with the Seahawks, having them as the number 1 seed. Of course,
Rightfully
can't
so.
be officially hired until they're eliminated, and them having the number 1 seed. You're gonna have to wait a couple weeks to get Clint. But how y'all feel about Clint? Since y'all don't like Cliff.
I'm still
I'm just out on offensive coordinators. I'll say that. And you got it, Mets.
Part of me would say yes, but I'm still leaning towards no. Enough with this BS cycle of getting offensive gurus who are good their first year, but then fall off the cliff because they become infected by hubris.
Exactly.
There is a lot of merit to that. And I agree, but I'm unpopular opinion sports for a reason, so I want to put a narrative just so you guys can think about it. Sean McVay, Kyle Shanahan, Andy Reid, and Sean Payton. Those are all offensive guys who are at the top of their game right now and competing for a Super Bowls. So I'm not going to poo-poo somebody just because they're on the offensive side of the football. But when you're specifically speaking about team fit, that's what I'm talking about. Team fit. Offensive coordinator style don't really fit a team like the New York Giants. And that's kind of what a lot of Giants fans are starting to realize now, that, hey, you either need a CEO type head coach like a Tom Coughlin, or somebody that's going to get your defense right so you can be the old Giants like you used to be, beating up on quarterbacks. And I think that is one or two ways they can go, because you already tried to go out. And the reason they tried to go offense so heavy was because they were shell shocked over Eli Manning. And they kept trying to go, oh, we need to fix Eli Manning and we need to do this. And they bring in Mac and they do this and they do that. And they just kept on going. Offense. It was like a trickle down effect. Once Eli and them left, you were still trying to build this offense because you thought you was going into the modern day NFL. But what history should tell everybody is it's not linear. It repeats. It's cyclical. So you're going to come back around to being the old Giants. And I think an offensive coordinator just won't do it for that particular team. But when you talk about teams like the Falcons, teams like the Cardinals, this guy's a perfect fit. What's your thoughts on that?
I think he would be a very good fit with the Cardinals. It's just that doggone Kyler Murray, what he calls him. Yo, I think Clint Kubiak is a very good offensive mind. He got Sam Darnold at least looking very, very decent with the Seahawks, and he turned Jackson Smith, my nigga, into a monster.
Yeah.
So
beast.
Yeah, I think Clint Kubiak is a good mind, but you better have a roster for him. You see what I'm saying? Like, he can make some things work if he has some pieces over there. So we'll see. But I think he should stay right over there in Seattle and keep it rolling.
Jesse Minter. This is a guy I talked about as a fit for the New York Giants, but this was before John Harbaugh became available. Speaking of Harbaugh, he works for his brother, Jim, over there with the Chargers. I think this dude is being trained to be a coach, under Harbaugh and the Chargers. Look, I don't like the Chargers as a team at all. They have cost me money in the past betting on them, and I don't trust them. But I think seeing what Minter did in Michigan, then with the Chargers, I was higher on him before, Harbaugh, Stefanski, and some of these other coaches became available. But I still think he should be up there in consideration because I think he will probably bring that CEO type of coaching style to this organization or any organization that he would go to. I could see him as a fit for the Browns. I could see him as a possible fit for the Tennessee Titans. But what's your thoughts? Because I don't think it's going to be the Giants now that these other guys are available.
Baltimore, man.
Nah.
I like Mentor, man. I like Mentor.
Mm-hmm.
Straight hard nosed, gritty guy. I mean, he'll bring that grit to your team. So I think teams like you just said, I said Ravens, but Browns as well. Yeah, Mentor would be nice. And as far as QB, ain't that's Gary's grandson, right?
I think so. Yeah. They got a Kubiak. It ain't too many people with the name Kubiak, but
No. I think that's his grandson. That's Gary's grandson. Yeah, no. He's definitely a good mind. And I would like Arizona was the best place I heard. If y'all said for Kubiak would be nice, but as far as Mentor, man, I like those hard-nosed city for him. As far as Cleveland, Baltimore, even maybe Tennessee, like you brought up.
Raheem Morris, poor Raheem. Radio Raheem.
Get him like radio, yeah. I was just about to say.
Another one that stay getting fired.
Do the right thing, man. Shit.
Raheem stay getting fired, bro.
Yo, this dude ain't do nothing wrong in my opinion, bro. And it's sad because he gonna get interviews with the Giants and these other teams, but he probably ain't gonna get hired. Just gonna be honest with you, I would be shocked if he got hired in this cycle. Maybe next cycle or maybe no cycle. But guys like him just get a raw deal, bro. We talked about Steve Wilkes, Aboriginal coaches. It's rough, bro, because you come into a situation and you doing your best job as a coach, but you can't control all the other outside factors that happen in football, like injuries, like ownership, like GMs picking players that you may not want. And it's like, you know what I'm saying? This dude is a defensive guy. And they go offense damn near every job. I think this year they went defense finally. And it got better. You see? Then he gets fired. So Raheem can't catch a break. Sad for the guy. He'll probably go somewhere and be somebody's D coordinator if I had to guess. But go ahead.
I just think it's I just think it's with these Aboriginal brothers as head coaches, they never let them see it through. You could have let that man stay there because he had your defense playing at a high level towards the end of the season. Both his quarterbacks were hurt. That's not his fault. Like he went out there and tore Penix ACL, and I don't think he had any say-so in picking Michael Penix, to be honest with you.
I don't think he wanted Kirk Cousins either.
Yeah, so I mean, these brothers never get to see it through, and it's a long list of them, and maybe they do hire a John Harbaugh and he gets to see it through. I mean, that's the way it happens. It happened in Tampa Bay with Tony Dungy. They didn't let him see it through, and they won the Super Bowl with his roster pretty much. So it's a sad situation. I don't think he's a bad coach at all, but it's going to be hard for him to get another head coaching job here. I don't think he gets one in this carousel of coaches. I don't think.
Yeah, because he was with the Falcons. Wasn't he somewhere else too? Who else was he
Buccaneers,
with?
The Buccaneers. I mean, he's been a good defensive coordinator his whole career.
Oh, never mind.
So, I mean, maybe he gets a defensive coordinator job, or maybe he gets a defensive assistant job, or maybe somebody will make him an assistant head coach, just to give him a label. So it's just sad on what these brothers go through. You know what I'm saying? They never get a chance to see things through. And that's a shame, because I do think the Falcons have something, and they found something at the end of the season. Them dudes went on a run, and they were actually tied for the division lead. It's just that, tiebreakers didn't work their way because of the games they lost in the beginning of the season. But he turned it around with Kirk Cousins at quarterback, So it is what it is, man. It's just the way it is. And if that's the way it is, they keep wanting to be in the NFL. So you got to take the good with the bad. You got one shot. You only got one shot. And you better make it count, or they're going to get your Aboriginal ass out of there, which they did. So maybe a Mike McCarthy comes over there, looks like a hero, and takes them to the division championship next year with the defense balling. So who knows, man? But I think he built that defense. I know he built that defense.
Yeah, man. And if that defense takes off, who's going to get credit for it? The next head coach. So, any thoughts on Raheem Morris? Shakes, Ghost? I think Ghost stepped out. Shakes, if you're there.
Yeah. To me, I think this is a guy, like, if the Giants go ahead and get a Harbaugh, I think this is a name that should be brought up as a defensive coordinator, because I think one of the main reasons as well is why Harbaugh is out in Baltimore is because you can't win, right? And the reason why he hasn't won the championship, to me, is because his defense has let him down. You know what I'm saying? His defense has let him down. And it's all, to me, Zach Orr was the guy. I'm like, man, Zach Orr was terrible. So if you go ahead and get a Harbaugh, I hope that he would inquire of Raheem Morris, a guy of that stature, to control the defense, and he got the offense, in Harbaugh. So definitely a name that I'm looking at, with my eye, like, and he's entered in for the Giants as well for the head coaching spot. So they already gonna bring him in the building and see what type of man he is.
Mm-hmm.
So hopefully, that'll be a move that Harbaugh does.
That's a good point you made, because a lot of times, because they did this with Mike Kafka. They was gonna bring, the Seahawks did this last year when they hired McDonald. They wanted Kafka in as a OC. Remember that, and the Giants blocked it. So, but they had brought him in for an interview for their head coaching position. So what you said is important. Some of these guys that come in for head coaching jobs, they're really interviewing for coordinator positions. If they don't get a head coaching job. So another guy to talk about here is Matt Nagy. Chiefs offensive coordinator. I mean, shit. You already got the Chiefs off. Well, no, but I mean, I don't know, man. Matt Nagy though. I don't know if you don't give Raheem Morris a shot. How you give Matt Nagy a shot? Remember, Bears. That's who he's tied to. That disaster. I don't know, bro.
I don't want no part of Matt Nagy in the NFC East, bro. That shit is not going to work in the NFC East. Because first and foremost, you don't have the refs on your side over here with the New York Giants. And a lot of that shit they do over there with KC is a lot of quick screens and all that bullshit over there. You get away with that in the AFC West. And you saw what happened this year when the AFC West teams got better and the Chargers and the Broncos. The only one that got away with that shit was the Raiders. And the Raiders actually played them very well both games. So you don't have a Patrick Mahomes that gets favoritism. And you don't have a Andy Reid who knows how to call. You don't have a Steve Spagnuolo over here who knows what they're doing too. So you bring Matt Nagy over here, you might have a whole nother situation where your offense is just a gimmick. And it's going to be Jackson Dart, try to throw it out quick. Who you throwing it out quick to? We don't have the receivers to make moves and get past people. We don't have the offensive line to get that done. So you bring him over here, you're going to see.
Yep.
You hating on him, man. It's just telling the truth. It's a gimmick offense over there with the Chiefs. So they're going to have to reinvent themselves too to keep it a buck with you. And then you got Rashee Rice. I told you, NYG, them dudes want to be Hollywood. Now this man, Rashee Rice, his baby mama, got pictures all over the doggone internet of her looking like she been just getting dog walked, just beat on.
Oh, so my God.
An investigation for that. You know what time that is. You already been suspended, twice? And they put
Yo, we've been to Kansas City, bro. Like I'm saying, it's some real peculiar spots in Kansas City. It's not one of those cities that's like it's a Midwest town. And what I know about Midwest towns is they're one of two things. They're either real rural, where it's like country, corn, fields, farming, old fucking, colonial towns and shit. Or it's just fucking the hood and just ghetto as fuck. And I think a lot of those athletes, they get into that aspect of it. Your offensive lineman, your defensive lineman, they probably out there picking up barrels of hay. But them cats, bro, and if you ain't got no structure out there, and see, one thing about Andy Reid, we seen this in Philadelphia. Andy Reid's a Hall of Fame coach. I'm not saying nothing bad about him, but he's always been a coach of a more laid-back style. And you see a lot of discipline issues with his teams. We seen it in Philly. So, he had T.O. over there and shit like that. But it's just, like you said, with the Chiefs, Matt Nagy want no part of it. Rob Saleh, don't see how you give Saleh a shot. What he did with the Jets, even though 49ers are really his defenses are really good, bro. That dude's a damn good defensive mind, but
coach.
Nah, bro.
Defensive guru, yes. Yeah. Head coach caliber, no.
Yeah. Then you got Shula. So now we're gonna get into some of the Giants candidates right here. Chris Shula is definitely one of them. Guys, are they lining up to interview this guy already? Was he one of them on the list?
McCarthy, Harbaugh. It was another one. Well, I know those three guys for sure.
As
Yeah. So Shula, Rams defensive coordinator. I'll read you guys what they say real quick here. It's a little short paragraph. Shula 39 may be the next branch on the Sean McVay coaching tree as he's worked up the ranks in Los Angeles starting in 2017. The Rams defense has drastically improved in Shula's 2 years calling the plays, ranking 9th in points allowed this season. Shula is the son of former Baltimore Colts receiver and NFL head coach Bengals Dave Shula. He's the grandson of former Baltimore coach and more notably Miami Dolphins head coach Don Shula.
The Don.
So he definitely has a football pedigree for your ass.
Big time.
And his defenses have been pretty good with the Rams. I don't think they've been great. I think they've lapsed at times, my personal opinion. But they've been decent. They've been good. And Sean McVay, bro, I mean, he is, in my unpopular opinion, probably top 3 head coaches out in the NFL right now. The Rams are always good, bro. And what he does on offense is get guys open. Like Puka, like them dudes are open, bro. The Rams don't make offense hard like what you see with the New York Giants. He makes that shit easy for them. That's why they score so many points. They're always in the red zone. Like defensive wise, that helps you out a tremendous amount.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm a little skeptical if he comes over here and tries to be one of those DC 8 head coach DC guys. But if he comes over here with the CEO type and he really got those genes from his, the other Shula family, I wouldn't be opposed to it. What y'all think?
I wouldn't be opposed to it if he came over as like a CEO type guy, not a gimmick type guy, like a coordinator type guy. I just think in the Giants case, they need a CEO head coach. They need a leader of men. And if you go to the interviews of the Giants, when they ask the Giants players what they would want in the head coach, 100% of them said we want a leader. So that tells you that locker room didn't have a leader in that locker room that they believed in or trusted. So you're gonna have to bring somebody over here with a pedigree, and he does have a pedigree. And if he has his granddaddy's and his daddy's pedigree, then give him a shot. If you can't get the candidate that you want, which is John Harbaugh, they want John Harbaugh bad. And
but if John Harbaugh don't want them, then I mean,
John Harbaugh is interested in the Giants. He's already said it. He's interested in the Giants, but it's gonna come down to whether he wants to work with Joe Shane or not.
Yeah, he's interested, but again, is he interested? Now, he's gonna have to work with a GM anywhere he goes. So the whole Joe Shane thing, I think, is overblown in the fact that Joe Shane is leading the search, but he's not making the hire. John Mara's going to make that hire. I don't give a damn what nobody say. The Maras are making his hire. That's why they put that out there immediately that he was their number one candidate. That goes through the media. The media goes through the Maras.
Yep.
And we got stuff coming out that's going to prove all this for you guys. So be on the lookout here for the videos and things that me and Pat been working on. But I think Mara's definitely going to make the hire. Joe Shane is just bringing in candidates, basically, like you guys said, to see who he wants to work with and who can work with him on his philosophies and the way he does things. Now, with Harbaugh, that's different because but I don't think, see, people want to say that, well, John Harbaugh just wants this total control. I think most coaches, they just want control over the roster decisions. Like who you cut, who you pick up, like shit like that. Because what GMs do is sometimes they force players that coaches don't want, and coaches don't want to deal with that shit. You see what I'm saying? And you see a lot of that with quarterbacks specifically. You know what I'm saying? But it's already been important. He wants to work with Dart, so that's not an issue with the Giants. But you can't have your GM, because that's what happened with Jerry Reese and Tom Coughlin. Jerry Reese was giving Coughlin players that Coughlin's like, what the fuck I'm do with this guy? You know what I'm saying? The JPP of tight ends. I can't work with this nigga. Like, you see what I'm saying? So that is how GMs and coaches get fractured. And that's all this is about. It ain't about Joe Shane being the worst GM and he's just such a dickhead, can't nobody work with him. No. It's about, do our philosophies lined up, and are you going to get me the players that I need? You know what I'm saying? And I want say-so in that. Probably more say-so than you. And the GM has to not have an ego and be like, all right, but, you know, I'm going to handle all this money shit and free agency and all. All right, cool. Do what you do, but I want the players that don't give me no bullshit players. Don't deal me a bad hand. You see what I'm saying? And people want to say Joe Shane dealt Brian Daboll a bad hand. I disagree completely.
I totally disagree.
You know what I'm saying? But when you bring in a high-profile coach like John Harbaugh, you gotta, as a GM in Joe Shane's mind, you gotta realize, like, all right, he probably gonna have more pull than me. You know what I'm saying? But I get to keep my job and still do what I do. I think what y'all don't understand is, from everything I know about Joe Shane, even seeing him at the Senior Bowl, Joe Shane's strength is as a scout.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Let him scout. Let him go get you some players. You tell him what you need. I need a tight end that is like George Kittle. All right, cool. And then he'll go out there and find you a tight end like George Kittle. That's what he does. But you can't, if you say you want a player, you got to want that player and use that player. And I think that was the disconnect with him and Brian Daboll, because who the fuck wanted Jalen Hyatt? Who wanted Daniel? Who wanted these players? And if you want these players, why aren't you using them? And this is what I've been questioning. But I went on a little tangent there, but y'all go ahead. Chris Shula, what y'all think?
Yeah, I think he'll be all right if you can't get your first choice. You see what I'm saying? If you can't get your first choice, I think he'll be all right.
All right, let's go to, we talked about Stefanski. Anthony Weaver.
Come on, man.
All right. So I got an article with US Today, and they bring up an interesting name here. This is gonna make you guys, I don't know. Y'all might like it. You might not. I don't know though. Now this is from USA Today, a big and they say Jeff Hafley, Green Bay Packers defensive coordinator. That's who they got for the fit for your New York Giants. Here's their logic. If there's one thing the Giants like, it's having a connection to the coach they'll eventually hire. Daboll was a Bill Belichick disciple, and the same was true for Joe Judge. Pat Shermer previously worked under Steve Spagnuolo, who, like McAdoo, had a connection to the good old days with Tom Coughlin. Hafley doesn't come with any of those connections, but he does have a connection to the area. A Montville, New Jersey native, the Packers defensive coordinator has a lengthy coaching history dating back to 2001. He coached one season at Rutgers. Shout out to Coach Ed, and also served as head coach at Boston College from 2020 to 2023. That may not be the flashy hire the fans want, but you don't win games by stealing headlines. Hafley's defense took a step back in Green Bay over the past month after losing Micah Parsons and Devontae Watt to season-ending injuries. Injuries aren't Hafley's fault, and if he can bring along a solid offensive coordinator, he might just be the perfect fit for the Giants. How y'all feel about that?
Yeah.
How do you feel about that?
Nah.
I don't think that's a hire that could blow up in your face if he can't get an offensive guy in there. It could definitely blow up in your face. But I will say this, if he is a very good defensive coordinator, I think he can cook with this defense for sure. But can you get your offense to sustain your defense? And a lot of people don't look at this Giants offense as anything, but I'm telling you, they got some talent on this offense, bro. And if Jackson Dart can do what he did this past year with what he was working with, you put a structure around him, it might be a problem. You see what I'm saying? If you put a structure around him where he got a receiver that he can count on to get those tough catches, you have a tough time with this Giants team if they get a defensive coordinator that knows what he's doing with this defense. Even the dude that they have there now, Charlie, whatever his name is, Charlie something. He actually had that defense playing pretty well towards the end of the year.
Charlie Bullen.
Charlie Bullen. Mm-hmm. And he was unlocking Abdul Carter, believe it or not.
Oh, yeah. Abdul Carter called him Chuck.
Yeah, Chuck. I mean, Chuck. Shit. He had Abdul Carter playing some football.
My man Chuck.
Yeah, I want my man Chuck.
Chuck knew what to do with him. You see what I'm saying? And freaking Abdul Carter was playing some football. So
you might see Chuck as a position coach for the Giants, regardless of who they hire, just because of Abdul Carter.
Mm-hmm. And I wouldn't mind that. That would be smart. That would be smart.
He really seemed like he fucked with Chuck.
For real. Chuck was putting that man in position. Chuck getting that man paid. You see what I'm saying? Like, everybody was, he a bust. Well, when Chuck got in there, Chuck was like, shit, I know what to do with him. Get your ass out there. Yeah. It was getting sacks, tackles for loss, making impact, getting strip sacks, causing fumbles. Like, he was doing a lot when Chuck was the intern DC. So, shit, shout out to Chuck. Keep Chuck as a position coach, and if you can bring over somebody like a Haley, shoot, you got a defense on your hands. And believe it or not, you got an offense on your hands too. If you bring somebody that could bring some structure in there, shit, you might have something.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no doubt, bro. All right. Jeff Hafley, man, how you feel about that? Shakes, Ghosts. How y'all feel, man?
Jeff, I mean, go ahead, Shakes. You go first.
Yeah, my bad, bro. But yeah, I told people that Jeff and the guy Lou, I can't pronounce.
Oh yeah, Lou Amarillo.
Lou Amarillo.
Yeah, they my wild card. Y'all all know that I like Spags.
Did you cut out?
I think he
did. Yeah. But I think Ghost. Yeah, Ghost. Go ahead, man. How you feel about Jeff, man? What's good?
I mean, as far as like younger hires is concerned, it's not like really like a bad one, I guess. He's a defensive coordinator, and he did have the Green Bay Packers looking good until up the end there. But nah, if I was to go in the younger direction, I would prefer Shula, man. He has the pedigree, and on top of that, he has the McVay tree to back him up as well. So if I was going to go in the younger direction, I would go over Shula before I would go with Jeff Hafley.
Yeah, here's my problem with Hafley. You already went the Green Bay route. Now, I'm not one for repeating mistakes. What you did was go and get who? Ben McAdoo. You got him from Green Bay. And now you're over here talking about Jeff Hafley. And not only him, but Mike McCarthy, who was also a former Green Bay head coach. Leave the Packers alone. Get away from there. Green Bay, bro. The Giants got more rings than the Packers. Think the Packers got what, 3? Or they may be tied with 4 Super Bowls. Like,
Yeah, I think
you
they
don't
got 3.
they keep going at they did it with they keep going after Green Bay. No. I'm not with Jeff Hafley for real. I think they can go in a different direction. I don't think the Green Bay coaching tree is doing you any justice.
No, it is
in
not.
my opinion. But what you got, Mets?
The two reasons, I'm sorry,
Well,
but the
Are you
two
back?
reasons why I like him is because he's a native. I think he's from New Jersey or New York, whatever, which one. But he's a native.
Yeah, Montville. Yeah, but I mean, what does that matter? You know what I'm saying?
And also,
bro,
Not a
I'm
damn thing.
from
I
New
like the
York.
4-3.
Can I get a position? Can I get an interview? I'm from New York.
Hey,
Bro,
you
on,
coach a
bro.
4-3 defense.
Right.
You coach a
Yeah, I
4-3
can.
defense.
Right.
Yeah,
I'm
let's
like
go.
20 minutes down.
Top 10,
I'm from
good.
down 20 minutes down the road from Montville.
You know what
Let
I'm
me know what's up.
saying? Shit. I
You
know
coach a
football,
4-3
bro.
defense. I like it.
Yeah, I coach 4-3, 3-4. You know what I'm saying? 44, 52, whatever you
I don't
want.
want all that, bro. I want the 4-3, bro.
46.
Some coaches with the 4-3, that's who I like. So that's why I like Hafley. But otherwise, it's definitely candidates that I like way more than him. But he's up there in my list.
Facts, man. Let my man Mets get in there. Mets, what you got?
I have to agree that the Green Bay learning tree would do the Giants more harm than good, especially when the current coaching staff in Green Bay is basically Mike McCarthy disciples, which means one thing: if they get the head coaching job, it's going to lead to bad clock management.
Yeah, clock management was trash, but I ain't gonna lie to you. But if you're gonna go with the Green Bay coaching tree, go get the main guy. Go get McCarthy.
Mikey Mike.
And speak of the devil.
So, a lot of Giants fans want, some Giants fans want Mike McCarthy. Some Giants fans want Mike McCarthy as the head coach. Now, with McCarthy, I think, bro, you got to think about what you just went through
in Dallas
with fucking Jason Garrett. You know what I'm saying? So There it is for you. Giants to interview Mike McCarthy for coaching openings as candidate list grows. So we talked about Harbaugh. We can get into McCarthy now. I don't see how on earth the Giants are even considering this shit. With nothing other than respect for Mike McCarthy, that there's a big opening and that, hey, you should get a shot at it, buddy, because, you know, you're one of our brothers. This dude ain't getting a fucking job, bro. If you hire Mike, bro, I'm going to call so much bullshit on this, bro, because this ain't nothing but the good old boy network at work. Because it's clearly, bro, you got fired. You just did this with Jason Garrett, and he got fired from your division rival, and he been out of coaching for a year. No. Y'all got it.
All right, well, I can see why. You know what I mean? The Inquirer, like they give him an interview. He has a championship under his belt. He had one with the division rival, so you know that they and of course he has a lot of respect in that coaching corral. That you know what I mean? In them circles, them inner circles that you want to call it. He got a lot of respect there, so of course he's gonna get his inquiry. But that should be where it is. Like that's it. Like go ahead, have an interview with him, sip some coffee and all that. Hey, how's the children? That's good. That's nice. And then send him about his way, bro, because he's not the guy for the job. We have seen him in the past not make the right calls. I think Mets made it up, right? He's the main one that has messed up fucking calls and schemes and shit like that. And not only that, he has a problem with reverting to the analytics. Like he talking about, I'm still learning it. We don't got time for that. We ain't got time for that. We ain't got time for that.
He got Joe Shane for that.
Right. No, we good, bro. We good, bro. So yeah, you can come in the building and say hi. But let that be it. Just because you got respect for him, and I understand. Like you said, the good old boy is doing that. I get it. But let it be that. Because he's not the guy for the job.
Yeah. Ghost, what you got?
Listen, man. I want to stay as far away as Mike McCarthy as possible. Honestly, I don't even want him in the building, bro. That's how bad it is. But I also understand that, you know, the interview process is a process, and he's one of the candidates. However, once they're done interviewing him, man, I just need them to, like, not even consider calling him back. Because as you said, man, it's just... There's a reason why he got his walking papers over there in Dallas. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's a reason why he's still not head coaching right now. So, I don't know. I'm just not with it, man. I'm just not with it. I'm good off the offensive guru stuff at this point.
I could see McCarthy with the Raiders for some reason. I
can see that.
I just think
I can definitely see that.
They just go over there to get paid, bro. Like he wants a check. Like,
yeah, go get your money. Not over here though.
He wants a check. You know, Mara's already paying fucking Dabu and I think fucking Joe Judge, but he just wants a check. You don't need to pay this guy. Pat, what you think about McCarthy?
I don't want no parts of him, bro. Like, bro, go get John Harbaugh or whoever you want to get, but man, I don't want him here, bro. I think it's gonna be a shit show again. I'm just gonna keep it real with you, because Mets called it out. That dude's clock management was terrible, and He's going to have less of a roster that he had with the Packers and the Cowboys. And he didn't, live up to expectations with those Packers teams after that one Super Bowl with Aaron Rodgers. So, and he hasn't lived up to expectations since then. So, yeah. Is he a coach that can get you a base? Maybe. But I doubt that. If I'm looking for a coach to get me a base, I'm going with John Harbaugh. I know he could get me a base with that. With Mike McCarthy, it could go totally wrong. It could go totally wrong.
Completely off the rails.
Like, would he know what to do with a Jackson Dart? I don't think so.
Oh, and y'all mentioned Jason Garrett earlier, right? NYG. He got an interview with the Titans. Oh my God! I pray for Cam Ward.
Oh,
it doesn't surprise me because the Tennessee Titans. Yeah, Cam Ward is dead.
Bye.
He's done, bro.
See you at the crossroads.
Crossroads lonely.
At the crossroads.
Shakes, you there?
If Garrett goes to Tennessee,
what you got on? What you got on McCarthy, bro?
I just spoke on.
Yeah, I mean, so we're gonna get to
where do I see him going?
I think he's gonna end up with the Raiders, but yeah, that's what I was referring to.
That might be his best.
Atlanta wouldn't be bad neither.
All right. Last coach I'm gonna talk about is Kevin Stefanski. We haven't talked about Stefanski yet. Stefanski is one of the he's one of the leading candidates right now, outside of Harbaugh. So you got to come to grips with that. I think if you hire Kevin Stefanski, you're basically hiring Brian Dable again.
Thanks.
I just the fuck did he do better than what
I was just gonna ask y'all. I was gonna ask y'all why are so many people...
He got the Browns to the playoffs? I think twice. Dable got the
Coach of the Year awards once.
Is
that why?
He won two. Brian Dable won one. But exactly, they neither one of them did shit. So it's just awards and gloat and ego stroking.
I think what killed Stefanski's rep was the dumbass Deshaun Watson trade in the front office last season. That's what killed the Browns and basically killed Stefanski's rep. Did Stefanski want Deshaun Watson? I don't really think so.
But here's my thing. What about the Baker Mayfield situation? Because
that killed him too.
Baker Mayfield was there. And might trigger some of y'all. I know how y'all get, but gotta think about Daniel Jones again. Stefanski had Baker Mayfield. They was actually doing things with Baker Mayfield. They went to the playoffs. They decided he wasn't the guy. Moved on. Did what they did. And now he's fired. Brian Dable had Daniel Jones. Went to the playoffs. Didn't want him. Moved on. Did what he did. Now he's fired. Why would you bring in Stephen? What upgrade are you getting here? What upgrade are you getting?
They're playing advocate. You know what I'm saying? They love him in the circle. They're in the circle, right? And the thing is, he did take the Cleveland Browns to the playoffs two years in a row or whatever. And like Matt said, they put a lot of that going after Watson, giving up 3 first-round picks in 3 straight years. That handicaps you. So I get it. It did handicap me. But still at the same time you signed off on doing that. So even though I mean, y'all can give them the excuse. So I mean, oh y'all gave up a whole bunch of draft picks, and how is he supposed to win like that? But he signed off on doing so as well. He wasn't saying no, don't do it. He said, okay, give me a Deshaun Watson, 3 first-round picks, do it.
Mm-hmm.
He signed off. So I I'm playing the advocate, but also saying, bro, this is what they're gonna go ahead and defend him in that aspect, and they should look at it in all aspects as well. Is yeah, you're right. It is hard to win that way, but again, he signed off on doing that as well. That's just my point.
Mm. Yeah. I still don't think Kevin Stefanski, even with what I mean, what did he do with that defense? It's been pretty good.
And that's what's his name though. I forget
Garrett.
his name.
He didn't
Nah,
yeah.
DC over there. What's his name?
Can't think of his name.
Jim
Used to be for the Schwartz.
Yeah,
Yep.
Jim
Yeah,
Schwartz.
that's Schwartz handiwork over there. That's not because
you see what I'm saying? And
you know what I mean? Yeah.
you got Sador
No.
Sanders, and they saying he ain't want Sador Sanders either. Like, who do you want? You didn't want Baker Mayfield. You didn't want Deshaun Watson. You don't want Sador Sanders. Who the fuck does this guy want?
Dylan Gabriel, and it didn't work out.
You see what I'm saying?
Nope.
He on some Brian Dable bitch made shit. He need the perfect quarterback to make his offer. Man, get out of Kick Rocks, bro. Anyway. I'm sick of these dudes, bro. Like these fake offensive coordinators, bro.
I want to show the fans what good ownership is. I want you to listen to the owner of the Ravens and why they were so good for so many years, and to know that I think it came down between John Harbaugh and Lamar Jackson, and they chose Lamar Jackson. I think that's the only reason why he was fired, but we'll see.
Go ahead.
Let me show you guys this.
So this is from the mouth of Steve Biscotti.
Yep.
Or is it Bisciotti? I don't know how to pronounce it.
Why is it that you want to kind of, because you see the Jerry Jones who's really public, and you see some guys that you never see, and then why is it kind of that you take the low key kind of route?
I can see. My personal feeling is that when I was running Aerotech, I knew that business better than anybody, so I felt like I should be the leader, like I should be the one front and center. When I got this, I knew I would never catch up to the talents of the coach and the president and the GM. And so it really wasn't humility, it was intelligence. It was just like, I don't want to be front and center because there's always somebody in this organization that's smarter than me in every single category. And then, you've heard the expression that the only thing better than being rich and famous is being rich.
And that's it. I got the bread. I'll go hire people to do what they're supposed to do.
And you sit back.
And I'm going to sit back and let them do their damn job. I cut the check. They go out there on the field and they do what they're supposed to do. President of football operations for the New York Giants. It's the only way you're going to come out of this, man. That's a smart owner. He let what was the GM before the GM they had now that retired, was one of the best GMs ever. Ozzie Newsome.
Ozzie,
He let Ozzie do what he needed to do, and he let his head coaches do what he needed to do. And Brian Billick and John Harbaugh, and he got 3 Super Bowls out of it.
2.
Got 3.
I only got 2.
Wasn't he the owner of the Ravens when they won their
2000? Remember, beat the Giants.
Yeah,
and then they won with Ray Lewis, and then they won the Joe Flacco Super Bowl.
Well, even if it's only 2, I think
that was it. It was 2. They won that one, and then they won the Joe Flacco.
Yeah, so if he wasn't the owner of the first Ravens Super Bowl,
they should have won 3, but they can't win with Lamar Jackson. That's the problem.
So he sits back and he lets the football minds do what the hell they're supposed to do. You heard what he said. I'll never be able to do what they do because they're just smarter than me. And sometimes that's the best intelligence. No one motherfuckers are smarter than you in a room. That's intelligence in itself.
Read the room.
Right.
So true.
And it was it was snug, but he was right. The only better thing to be rich and famous is rich. I'm rich. I'm chilling in the scenes. What you need, Ozzy? Okay, here you go. Cut the check.
Oh shit.
Here you go, sis.
Yeah, right. And that's what he did, and he has been successful. He had a head coach for 18 years. So maybe John Harbaugh was running things after Ozzie Newsome left. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So maybe that's why John Harbaugh has got the hard balls that he got now. Yeah, I've been running shit for shit. What, 14 years?
Yeah, 18.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
So shit, let him do what he do.
I was a year outside of high school when they hired him. That's crazy. Wow.
And he chose this $285 million quarterback over John Harbaugh. Because I gave the man $285 million. I can't. What you want me to do?
Yeah.
So
man,
that's what should be happening. Cut the check and shut the hell up.
Mm-hmm.
Read the room.
Now, what happens here, fellas? As we're about to get to wrap this one up, but what do you think happens here? And we can go through the playoff bracket real quick if y'all want to, man. But what do y'all think happens here, man? Do you think John Harbaugh is coming to the Giants?
Yes.
Yeah.
I think it's all but like solidified. I think the only reason it hasn't been like, drawn out with the ink yet is off the strength of that they do have to do the Rooney Rule and the interviewing process and all that. Well, I think this is something that's been going on in the works for a while.
They handled that with Kafka.
Oh yeah, you're right. Yeah.
Yeah. I think so too. And the one thing that I always point to is setup. It's set up for a coach to be dropped in this situation and succeed. It's almost like the Patriots last year. You can compare it to when Sean Payton went to the Broncos. Like, teams were built in the background by bad coaches and bad so-called general managers that got them talent, and then they drop a big name in there, and boom. Because, again, this is a club. You know what I'm saying? And if you ain't in it, guess what? You getting sacrificed. Sacrificial lamb. And I think a lot of these coaches, general managers, we talk about the Aboriginal coaches, but it happens to white coaches and coaches of other demographics as well. They go in there, you doing your job, you're doing everything you asked for, but the team just sucks because they're in a rebuild. And as soon as that rebuild is done, boom, here come the big guy, the big fish, and you can drop him into that situation and he can take off with that team. If you're John Harbaugh, if you're going to coach, I don't see where else you coach unless the Bills opening maybe comes available or the Pittsburgh Steelers, which I doubt. I don't think they're moving off from Mike Tomlin, but that's been my position the whole time. You know what I'm saying? Like, I question Harbaugh while everybody else was talking about Tomlin. And now look, you know what I'm saying? So I don't think Tomlin's going anywhere. I think his best shot is if he wants to go to Buffalo and work with Josh Allen. And I don't even think Harbaugh is a like fuzzy quarterback guy. Like, I think he's going to go in there and get a team right and bring out the talent on the team. Because that Baltimore team always had talent, and the talent was bought out. They got the best out of those players. You know what I'm saying? Guys wanted to go play there. So I think that's something that he would offer with the Giants if they did get him. But you still got to watch the Browns. I don't think he's going to the Falcons. I'd be surprised. Doesn't seem like a fit. But who you going over there? Were injured. Michael Penix, Kirk Cousins, and they got the 13th pick. Oh, but they owe that shit to the Rams. Never mind. So the Falcons don't even have a first-round pick this year. What you doing over there? That ain't a fit. I think it's Giants or Browns, or he sits out a year. All right. Who y'all got, man? Bears, Packers, man. Then we're going to wrap this shit up.
Bears.
Packers.
I like the Bears, bro, but I think the Packers gonna pull this one out. It's just one of them division type of games that, you know what I mean? It's just like one of those miracle wins that Green Bay seems to get once a year.
Yep. Just a bad matchup, man. They kryptonite. They're the Bears kryptonite, you know what I mean? So just an unfortunate situation where until the Bears finally do it and they beat them in the playoffs, I don't see it happening.
But Green Bay's healthy? No. Right? Maybe a little bit.
I mean, Love playing. Love is back.
Yeah.
You know, where's the love?
I'm going with the Bears. I don't trust the Packers in the playoffs. San Francisco 49ers and Eagles. I mean, it's not like I trust the Bears, but I think the Bears will get this one and probably lose in the next round. San Francisco and Philly. I want San Francisco to win so bad, but I don't know, bro.
Go Niners. Go Niners.
That defense is gonna.
You know how fluky the Eagles are.
Yep. Well, that too.
If you ask me,
Saquon.
If you ask me, this is more of a chess match between Vic Fangino and Robert Saleh. Kevin Patullo and whoever the O coordinator is for San Francisco, they're too canceled out, in my opinion. And if you want to look at more consistency on the defensive line, I've got to give it to the Eagles. The injuries with San Francisco crippled them almost right out of the gate.
Yeah, for some reason, I don't trust this 49ers team. I'm actually with Mets on this one. Strange enough. All right. Rams and Panthers. Yeah, Rams. Panthers. It's over, Carolina.
Yeah.
You had a good run.
They just happy to be here, boss.
Right.
I'm just happy to be here.
Would you guys be heads off if I said I'm going Carolina? The whole lightning striking twice in the same spot.
Yeah, I'm not with you on this one, Mess. You in left field on that one, bro.
I mean,
They're not beating the Rams.
I mean, we beat the Rams before. I mean,
they have, but think about this. We talked about coaching matchup, right?
mm-hmm.
In the playoffs. This is the first time for the Carolina Panthers in the playoffs against Sean McVay and the Rams, who have won a Super Bowl. These dudes they're built for this shit. They just getting in there, bro. Like Shake said, we just happy to be here.
Well,
you barely got in.
Don't get me wrong, even if the
I'm
Panthers
just happy to be at the dance, y'all.
Even if the Panthers win this game, I don't see them getting through. I do not see them getting past Seattle.
Not getting by the Rams. That's the problem, bro. And if you, like you said, if they did, it's over. So, and that don't favor you in a game like this, you know, because the NFL is going to call it the way of the Rams. Yeah, they're going to get the Rams calls.
The Panthers is like those, like that one geek that got to the prom and was like, "Yo, I made it." You know what I'm saying? But he know he ain't gonna win prom queen or nothing, king or none of that. You know what I'm saying? He don't win none of that. But he just happy to be there.
Fair enough.
Yeah, I like the Panthers though. Yeah, I'm right there with you. I do like the Panthers, man, but not in this matchup, bro. It's over. All right, AFC, Chargers and Patriots. I don't trust the Chargers as far as I could throw them.
Patriots.
I can't throw a football team, so I don't trust them at all. Patriots at home. Yeah. They should take care of business. Chargers will put up a fight. Harbaugh's a damn good coach, speaking of Harbaugh. And you know, they got a good running Hampton, bro. My guy, Mario Hampton, was on my top 5, son. Shout out to UNC, baby. Mm-hmm. But that's where it stops in my confidence with the Chargers. Patriots should win this one. Their defense should be able to at least minimize that running game and force Justin Herbert to do what Justin Herbert does, which is choke.
I like both of these teams. I like both of these teams. Everybody knows I'm kind of like my college teams for this season. I like Chargers, period. But I think it's gonna be a good game. But it always boils down to the playoffs and what I say: strong no defense, run the game, momentum. I think New England has all 3. And even though Chargers got Hampton back, so watch out for that.
Yeah,
I think Herbert do give up a turnover, and that'll be the next.
That's true.
All right, Pat, Ghost, who y'all got? Chargers, Patriots?
Come on, man. Patriots, bro. It's gonna be too much for the Chargers, man.
All right. Bills, Jaguars. This one's interesting. I'm still waiting for Buffalo. I'm still waiting.
Yeah.
God, you can't beat Jacksonville, man. I don't ever want to hear anything about, and they might fire Sean McDermott if you don't get this one.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going with the Bills. I think a lot of pressure's over there in Buffalo. I think they're going to throw it all out on the field. They got to, bro. You can't lose this game. The Jags, even though Jacksonville's a damn good team, and T-Law's been doing pretty good, must I say, this year of, not being the old Trevor Lawrence that we know so good. But I think he's gonna come back out at some point. He's gonna show up. Hey, I'm back. Yeah, it's me. 5 picks. But I don't think they do all that. But I do think Buffalo wins this in a close one. Who y'all got?
I've actually got Jacksonville. If what happened to Buffalo this year is a sign that their power is crumbling. I mean, that the old White Witch took a nasty hit and her power is crumbling, so to speak. I think Jacksonville is on the move, and they're gonna pounce on Buffalo badly. Don't get me wrong, Josh Allen is still one of the best quarterbacks in the game going today, but the problem is the core in front of him is starting to age. Every weapon they try to get him is one way or another backfired on him. I mean, it was one of the main reasons the Bills let Amari Cooper walk a couple of years back. And the fact that there's no Chiefs in this year's postseason kind of eliminates the drive for the Bills to get a Super Bowl, at least from my perspective. Because their whole goal this year was to get back so they could finally beat Kansas City. But Kansas City fell apart from Thanksgiving onward. So is there really
the goal should be win the Super Bowl, though? It shouldn't be to beat Kansas City. Shit. You could do that in the regular season. You got to get to it. You know what I'm saying? You got to win the Super Bowl.
Well, I meant beat them in the postseason, but with Kansas City out of the equation this year, the drive to win the trophy is still there. But for me, it just doesn't feel. It just would feel hollow for Buffalo.
Nah, I don't think it would, bro. They lost 4 Super Bowls in a motherfucking row. It has never been done before. Probably never again.
True.
They have to win at some point, bro. Kansas City, that's the blip out in the radar that you waiting to get rid of. And you don't got to worry about Lamar Jackson. Come on,
or Joe
man.
Burrow.
Come on, man. You can't beat Trevor Lawrence and the Jacksonville Jaguars. Yeah, I'm not listening to it no more, bro. But go ahead, Ghost. Who you got?
It's gonna be a tough one, man. Because if Trevor Lawrence goes out there and plays well, and they're at Jacksonville too, I'm gonna go Buffalo Bills, man. I just think some way, somehow, Josh Allen's gonna put that cape on yet again.
They got the guy. Who you got, Pat?
Well,
definitely the Bills.
Oh, go ahead, my bad.
No, it's the Bills. They don't beat Sunshine in them, man. It's the only team I'm worried about. The Bills is the Patriots.
The Patriots, yeah. Mm-hmm. But I will say, outside of the Patriots, this Jacksonville matchup, it could get tricky for him, man. It ain't gonna be easy.
It's definitely not a good matchup for him, especially in the first round. But you got to find a way to get it done, bro.
That's a fact.
And the reason it's not a good matchup for him is not because of Trevor Lawrence, because of that Jacksonville defense.
And they play him at home too, so they got to go down there to Florida.
It's gonna be raining all weekend down here.
Shakes, who you got? Shakes?
Yeah, what's good, bro?
Who you got? Buffalo, Jacksonville.
Man, it's gonna be tough, bro. Y'all know I like Sunshine. I think Sunshine can pull this off, but I think that this is the last shot for Buffalo. Like, I think this is it. If they don't get it done now, I don't think they ever do. Yeah. So I think they got to do it now, and I think they do.
Yeah, that's how I'm feeling with them. All right, last one. Texans and Steelers Monday night. This is I don't know. This is a little weird too. This one's a bit weird. I think I'm going with the Texans, man. I don't know, man. Hey. Steelers might be one and done. They not that good. They got lucky to beat Baltimore, and Texans defense is. Hey, I'm hanging my hat on the defense in this game, in this team, in the Houston Texans. Yeah, best defense in the league, man. D'Amico Ryans. Hey, he might be the next Mike Tomlin, bro. You know what I'm saying? If you get Houston right. They got a shot here too, bro. As a 5 seed, They got a shot. Not a lot of heavy hitters in the AFC, unless you think New England and Denver is like that, which I know Denver ain't. New England might be, but Denver ain't. So, but the Texans, Steelers, I got the Texans, man. I think they win in a close one. Tough to beat Pittsburgh at home. That's the advantage the Steelers got, in my opinion. But man, Aaron Rodgers and them dudes ready to fucking retire. They ain't winning no damn
frauds. They're frauds, man. I can't believe they did that with Aaron Rodgers. That's just crazy.
They ready to get up out of there. They had to get to the playoffs, save Mike T's
how
job.
You cannot believe it though.
And
they
I
did
think
it with Russell Wilson.
Yeah.
Yeah, they got to the playoffs and got better.
You see what I'm saying?
They're gonna do again.
You see what I'm saying?
Get about it.
That goes to Tomlin, baby. That goes to Tomlin, man. Hats off.
They saved Mike T's job. That's what they wanted to do, and make sure he's safe, because
Agreed.
But that's where it stops.
I'm giving this one. I'm going to give this one to the Texans. One and done the Steelers. Rodgers can ride off into the sunset. Then you can experiment by putting Mason Rudolph in the start in QB1 in 26, and then tank and get a quarterback in the 27 draft. That should be the strategy for Pittsburgh.
Yeah. They I don't think they're getting past the Texans, and if they do, they damn sure ain't getting past
the Broncos.
Yeah.
Oh, hell no. They definitely not.
And yeah, Mets, you stand corrected. He has 3, Steve Biscotti. He bought stake in the Ravens 49% in 2000.
Oh, so he's a minority.
So he got 3.
Texans, Steelers. Who you got, Pat?
I'm going Steelers. They're gonna beat the Texans.
Okay. Texans, Steelers.
Then remember, they're going to Pittsburgh. They're not in Houston.
I know. I'm aware of that, but I think defense travels, bro. And I think they won a low scoring game in Pittsburgh.
They get DK Metcalf back. What?
I don't know.
That's
Texans.
true.
Texans got some pieces.
And they in Pittsburgh. They outside. They not in that dome.
Again, true. I'm gonna hop off, guys. I gotta go to bed. I got work tomorrow. Peace.
All right. Peace, man. Appreciate y'all tapping in. But that was the special for the night. I do think though it is something to watch with this coaching carousel with some of these teams that may get eliminated, particularly possibly the Steelers, possibly the Bills. Possibly teams like Philly. You know what I'm saying? Who knows? But I do think that is something to keep an eye on. With this this playoffs, like to see who might be out, because that could mean Harbaugh could be in. So definitely gotta watch that. You know what I'm saying? Especially like I said with the Bills and the Steelers, but I don't think Mike T is going anywhere. I'm just saying that. But I think it's Bills. That's your best shot here. If they get knocked out, which is possible, even though I'm picking them. Yeah. Last words, fellas, before we wrap it up.
Head coaching search is going to be a doozy, so just be on the lookout for some stuff from the ABSN. Got a lot of things coming out for you guys, but we'll see. I think John Harbaugh is the next coach in the football Giants, so we'll see.
All the planets are aligning, man. You know what I mean? It's about time things go up in this franchise and this organization. I think John Harbaugh is the guy.
Yeah,
I agree.
my
Go ahead,
last
Shakes.
word. My bad. But yeah, my last word is since Coughlin, man, this team has not been a consistent winning organization, and Coughlin has been gone since 2010, 11, 12, something like
Too
that.
long.
It's definitely
Nah.
over a decade. You know what I'm saying? So it's definitely
Too
over a
long.
decade, bro. We
Mhm.
need to get that winning culture back in this organization, and it starts with Harbaugh. Make the right choice. Good night.
Yeah.
Hey.
Way to end it, man. You already know what it is. Been the NFL on ABSN. We are the Aboriginal Sports Network, man. Pat, man. We up out of here. Take us out, bro.